Okay, so yeah, we're gonna start with 16-year-old murders 98-year-old woman to sexually assault her corpse for 2 hours while recording. This is Stephanie Sue videos, uh, and I think Rotten Mango's her podcast. So let's see what we got here. Let me know if the audio is okay.
And you state an opinion that you firmly...
Bada bing, bada boo.
There's a Reddit page called Change My View. You go on there and you state an opinion that you firmly believe in, and you ask the world, hey, come and change my view on this. People will start commenting. They're going to try to convince you why your perspective is not the best. Sometimes it leads to healthy discussions. Other times it leads to insults where your mom is going to be called into the equation. A few interesting things to note is most people, I would say, on this forum do not change their minds. They do not change their view. Apparently, there's even a few ways that you can tell if someone might
Okay, thank you.
be more or less open-minded to change their minds.
So why do they post in change my views? Like they just want to
What does it got
argument?
to do with
They-
the
they just
16-year-old
wanna be
murdered
validated?
a
Why are
90-year-old
they doing
woman?
that?
I think they want to be validated. I think
Like they want people to say, oh, you don't need to change your view.
yes, I do think like a strong group of people want to see the other side, but I think most of the arguments, you already know the
I want to see how
other
this
side,
ties in. Yeah, me
but
too.
you've just picked a side.
Got it.
So it's a passionate forum that you can browse on Reddit. There's a few things that you can tell if someone is
Someone
going
on
to change
TikTok
their
said
mind
she's
or
hot.
not. So for example,
Well, yeah.
when the original poster uses the word we
That's not the point.
instead of I when discussing an opinion, which is obviously very separate from gender expression, but when they say things like, well, we believe, well, we must not, we should believe, and this rather than, well, I thought, I believe, my perception of things. So referring to them as we plus a larger group of people, again, separate from gender expression, they're less likely to change their minds. Because they almost feel responsible for that whole large group's opinion. They feel like the representative of that group.
Right.
And if they waver and change their minds, what does that mean for the rest of the group?
yeah.
There's
That
also
makes sense.
stubborn language that you can detect. This is also in real life. If you are talking to someone and they use words like, well, anybody, anyone, I'm certain, certainly, or there's
Parody,
nothing,
hey, welcome back. Good to
don't
see you
even
again.
engage. They're not going to change their minds. On this forum, there's a lot of debates on politics, the economy, whether or not Epstein actually died in prison. I mean, pretty
Right,
much
I'm
anything
trying to
that
get
you
to the
can
murder,
think of
too.
is on this Reddit forum.
Don't worry.
Including
She's
debates
getting to it,
on
I'm
the
sure.
show To Catch a Predator.
I've watched
Have
the
you seen the
videos.
show
She's-
before?
I love to catch a predator.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about it.
I
briefly.
love
Yes,
to catch
so
a
this
predator.
show was around
I would love to do it to catch a predator stream. I love to stream. I love it. I love to catch a predator. I would love to do it to catch a predator stream, but I don't know how that'll go over, but I would love to do that. I love that. You have no idea. Chris? Well, Chris is what's this about? It just started. You know what we know at this point. This is the title, if this helps. This is the title. 16-year-old murders 90-year-old woman to sexually assault her corpse for 2 hours while recording. So, I don't know yet. It just started. We're 2.5 minutes in, so.
for a few years back in the early 2000s. And the fact that it's still relevant in pop culture is fascinating. But it was a show where a host, Chris Hansen, he would have all
Yeah.
of these adult decoys. They're adults.
Oh, VTuber Club with Chris Hansen? I would rather have one with Chris Chan. But that would be awesome too. I love Chris Hansen, dude. He comes out all the time. He's like, I want you to take a sit over here. And they're like, what do you think you're doing here today? And he always comes out with the biggest zingers. Like someone comes out there like, hey, I just want a hug. And then the girl walks away, and then he'll come out to the predator and be like, yeah, you give me a hug right now. And they're like, oh, it's like, yeah, why don't you just sit down? He's got mad riz, dude. Yeah, he's got so much riz. He got mad predator riz.
But they pose as not
anti.
adults on the internet. They pose as 13-year-olds. They start messaging strangers. They start
Do you
messaging
wanna be a top or
50-year-old
bottom?
men on the internet.
I'm not sure
They
which
say,
one's
hey,
better.
come meet me at this house.
Would
this
you like to
safe
see-
house
Oh,
is
let's see
then
what this is.
wired up for audio and video. Everything
That's
is
so good.
recorded. They step
I
into the
love this
house. They
show.
sit down in the kitchen thinking that they're going to engage in illegal activities, but instead Chris Hansen pops out and is like, "Hi, I'd like to ask you a few questions."
Hey,
That is crazy.
hey, why don't you
Then
have a
when
seat
they
over here?
walk out the front door, the police come in, they're waiting outside.
I
they
see
arrest
one when the
people.
guy's like, "Oh boo, oh boo," like he's like, "Hey boo, hey boo." That's what the predator keeps talking, saying to the little girl, and then the little girl goes in the other room, and Chris Hansen comes out, and he's like, "Hey boo." It's so funny. What the fuck is this? Parody. I have a crush on you, so I'm gonna confess. I'm in love with your vintage Game Boy Nintendo DS system, and to think it's had such a generosity and grace to honor you with its presence, gift among the poor soul, such as yourself as a soul. I think your Nintendo is really hot, and by association, you are a mere fortunate follower who has charity for it, and so I like you. Is that a fucking creepy pasta? What the fuck is that, Ciro? Enjoy your food, by the way.
I mean,
Wow.
dozens of threads have popped up over the years on Reddit, and it's a debate on whether that show is morally corrupt or not.
Copy
So
pasta?
one would
Oh
read,
yeah, copy pasta. There is creepy pasta also, but ooh, a creepy pasta stream would be fun.
"Change my view. To Catch a Predator is a morally corrupt show." Many of these people's arguments include,
No, it's not.
Let me be clear. I don't think that the people on the show should go unpunished. I
You
think
guys
that
know
they
what-
should.
you
But
guys know
also,
why that
the
show
show
ended?
just teaches predators to be more cautious with their crimes,
That's
which would
true.
put actual victims at risks, not the decoys.
It's not a bad point, but at the same time, like, you think these guys that show up is the first time I did it? It's not, you know? That's the thing. It's not a bad argument. I get that. But, and these guys still keep getting caught. There are multiple episodes where, like, they get the same guy twice. And they're like, dude, like, you again? Like, dude, what happened last time? What are we doing here? So it's a decent point. It's super sad, yeah. You know why the show ended? The show ended because they got some, like, judge, I think, or I was like, I don't want to be wrong about it, but some kind of, like, either government official or judge they got. And then they went to his house to arrest him, and he ended up shooting himself in the head. This is a recording of it. You can watch it. Prosecutor. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. And he ended up shooting himself in the head, and they ended the show. I just got here. What is his YouTube title? Oh, yeah. We don't know yet. We're still watching. Son-in-law. Yeah. And the guy shot himself in the head, and then the show ended. But if you ask me, and you are asking me, good. Good. Let him shoot himself in the fucking head. Who cares? Some fucking pedophile prosecutor putting other guys away while he's molesting kids. Let him fucking shoot himself in the head. I don't fucking care. Yeah, the fuck. There's nothing lower, dude. Even in jail, the worst of the worst will fuck you up for being a fucking child molester. What? What on earth? I love the whole PDF file thing, by the way. I don't know. We're gonna find out. I like to think Chris Hansen is still out there. He is. No. He has a new show. Hansen vs. Predator. Oh, he came back. Chris is still doing his thing. Oh yeah. The same way Chris Chan is doing his thing. Chris Hansen's still doing his thing. Yeah. There's another show. You can look it up. Hansen vs. Predator. Yep.
Many activists have questioned whether or not the show creates a harmful narrative because most predators in real life are not strangers you meet on the internet. They're going to be people that the children trust.
Right.
They also argue that the show
true.
is almost baiting the predators to commit a crime.
Who cares?
I mean, they're lying,
Don't care.
misdirecting, coercing the predators into falling for this trap.
Good.
Another small point of contention being that the family members of the predators, which obviously this would happen even if the predator is just charged in the court system, but now they get blasted on TV. Everybody knows what happened. The family members who likely did nothing wrong, they become
I always
these
love your
massive
chatting
victims
streams. I
themselves.
appreciate it. People-
but other netizens aren't.
People tend to, I feel like. I get that though. Like, unless I'm like if I was like top 100 at Marvel Rivals, right? Then yeah, people would come watch me play Marvel Rivals. But typically if you're watching a VTuber, it's because you like their personality. Thank you. And their hot model. But I appreciate you. But yeah, I want to do more stuff like this. I've been saying that forever, but sometimes I just want to play Elden Ring, and that's why I end up playing like Elden Ring on stream. Because I just want to play Elden Ring, and rather than not stream, I'd rather play Elden Ring for you guys.
You.
Or stuff
Change
like
my
that.
view. To Catch a Predator is not morally wrong. There should be more shows like it.
Yep. I
The
agree.
main argument being, the people on the show turn up to that house with the intention of R-wording a child. All the show does is show them arrive, give an interview, and then being arrested. If those three events happened, why can't they be broadcasted? We can video record anyone on the public street. Why can't we do this with any other crime? Others with the
You gotta help me out with your name. Adravian? Adraviant? Stephanie Sue, I love watching her. Yo, me too. She's been popping up forever on my reels and stuff like that. I was like, oh, you know what? I was watching them. Adria, you got it. Guagua. Can you get some guaguas in chat? What's up, guagua? Yeah. I figured, like, again, I was watching her today, and I was like, all right, you know what? What am I doing? I could just watch her with you guys. Hi, Adria. Welcome in. First time chatter. I actually have read that they don't reach out to predators. They have profiles and wait till these people reach out first. So I feel like the bait thing sounds extra stupid. Yes, no, it is true. They never, from what I understand, they never, oh yeah, I have socials, guys, if you want to follow my YouTube and stuff. Okay. They, from what I understand, they'll just go on like a chat site and be like, hey, like, you know, I'm age, sex, location, 13/female/whatever, but they never DM the fucking predator. They just put that out there and then let the predator come to them. Nothing wrong with that. If they're going to shoot themselves in the head over it, good, let them. One of my favorite one is the Epstein one. What do you mean? Like, that's one of your favorite predators? Top 10 predators? Like, if you have evidence, you're talking about like Stephanie Sue videos. I don't know if I saw that one. I haven't watched her long form stuff. I've only watched her TikTok, so this is new for me too. If you have evidence already, why would you bait them? What do you mean? I don't understand. If you have evidence already, why would you bait them? The evidence is them. The bait is saying like, hey, I'm a 13-year-old on the internet. That's the bait. Not like DMing them and be like, hey, I'm 13. I'm trying to meet an older man, you know?
The same viewpoint
Like most of the VTuber fan community.
argue. The decoys used on the show were advertising
crazy.
themselves as minors on
have to cut
hookup
that one
chat
out
rooms
for
and
YouTube.
classified ads. The men who were charged during the stings deserve exactly what they got. They know what they were going into.
Like Minecraft
They
fans.
also argued that public humiliation and the reputation that follows them after the show airs should be expected. It's also safer for communities because it's so easy to find out, oh my God, isn't that the guy from To Catch a Predator?
Yep.
They argue, I cannot feel sorry for somebody who is ready and willing to do God knows what with a child. I mean, society needs to know who these creeps are. I have no sympathy whatsoever.
Agreed.
They point to netizen experiences online of knowing
So
someone who
agreed.
ended up on the show.
Juju, hi, welcome
One
in.
comment reads, my friend dated someone who ended up just vanishing, disappearing. And then we eventually found out that he had been arrested for trying to sleep with an underage girl and having ropes and guns in his trunk. It wasn't until a few weeks later that we learned he was on the show, and it just kept
remember that.
unraveling.
I think I remember
He
that
had
one.
come to get drinks for one of my birthdays, and to be honest, he seemed completely normal. There was
think I remember
nothing
that
that
one.
stood out to me as creepy or off. And my friend was a wreck afterwards, though. She's a smart girl too,
Yeah,
and
it's
she didn't
terrifying.
expect anything like that. I feel so bad for her. She was blindsided. But others point to other netizen
I fear
stories
people
that
who get
read,
mad over
I
it
was
are
roommates
just
with a
people who haven't
person
been
on the
caught
show
yet.
for a bit. His name was Dave. Basically, he went to California visiting a friend, and the friend tells him, hey, I gotta make a detour to drop in on this girl that I've been chatting with online. He never mentions her age. And also, it's not like he could say no. Dave is already in the friend's car and the friend is driving. So immediately, they get to the house. He regrets his decision when out comes Chris Hansen.
Yo, you cannot be redeeming a walkie redeem right now. Like, go for walkies redeem while we're watching To Catch a Predator, dude. It's kind of crazy, dude. We can't have this right now, okay? We can't have this, okay? We're recording YouTube videos here, guys. We can't have this. This is not the time or place, please. We can't have this. No, it's so funny, but we can't have this. This can't be a thing. With Chris Hansen watching me, I can't. Look at him staring me down. Look at him. Chris, no. Chris, I swear. Chris, please. Chris, I swear, man. That wasn't me, Chris, I swear.
And they only interview the friend since Dave
Stop
just got to
staring.
California. He has
It'll go
no
away soon.
idea who this person is. He never messaged the decoy, but it really sucked though because the episodes are still available online. They don't blur his face. And actually, the whole episode that he's in has his face on the thumbnail.
Good.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
There are debates about whether the show is technically entrapment. Now,
Nope,
side
it's
note,
not.
entrapment typically involves
It's not
law
entrapment.
enforcement coercing you to commit a
Correct.
crime. But I guess in
Entrapment would be like if this is lawyer parody again. Entrapment would be like, okay, so if you leave a bait car on the street, like you leave a car with the keys inside of it, right, and you just wait for someone to go steal it, that's not entrapment. But if you were to bump into somebody and be like, hey, that car is unlocked over there, and keep walking, that's entrapment. You can't do that. That's the difference. Yep, that's the difference. So no, it is not entrapment. Again, because they can go on the thing and be like, hey, I'm a 13-year-old, and then somebody hits them up, not entrapment. If you were to hit up the guy and be like, hey, I'm a 13-year-old, you trying to get busy, If the decoys message the dudes first, exactly. That would be entrapment. Nope. People have tried to sue this show a million times. They never win. So
In this case, since NBC is working with law enforcement, it could count. That's a huge point of contention. As well as, what if one of these people are innocent in some way? They argue that public humiliation
when they
is
get
handed
tased,
out
yeah, I love when the
before a
cops get
trial.
them.
And theoretically,
I like the early seasons sometimes because like the nobody knew the show yet, right? So like they'll be like, "Am I free to go?" And he's like, "Yeah, you just walk out that door." And then they're like, "Okay," and they get up and leave, and like, "Oh, thank you so much." And he gets up and leaves, and the cops tackle him outside. That's the best. Later on, they're like, he's like, "Hey, am I free to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, go outside." He's like, "Ugh, I don't want to go outside." And they're like, "Why?" And he's like, "Because I know what's waiting for me out there." You know what I mean? Like later on, when people know what the show is. There was a crazy one once where he like saw the guy on the bus he was on a train. Chris Hansen was on a train to go to whatever city they were working in that week, and some guy walked over to him. He's like, "Hey, aren't you Chris Hansen? I love that show." And he's like, "Cool." And then that guy ends up coming to the house a couple days later. He was like, "Dude, what the fuck? I met you on the train the other day. You knew I was in town. What are you doing?" It's fucking crazy, dude. Buff Pro is always yelling for them to get tased. Who's Buff Pro? I don't know what Buff Pro is, but super crazy. Hey, anarchist artist, how you doing? I look for 5 seconds. What happened? We're just talking about To Catch a Predator. I don't know Buff Pup.
if NBC makes more money by
I
catching
don't know who that
predators
is
on
either.
camera,
I don't know
would
people.
they be incentivized to make one seem like a
Hey, I didn't know Ark Real until you told me about him, and now he's like my best buddy. Now I love Ark. I talk to him almost every day. I talk to him like every day. That's like my best buddy. Shout out to you, Blue.
predator, even if they're not?
Bye, Clarity.
Because they've invested time and resources, and now they need an ROI, a return on investment. So these seem to be the main points of contentions that show up. But aside from morality, there are other issues with the show, like the fact that the interviews that are conducted on the show are not probably admissible in court because the predators are not read their rights. Debates aside, the show To Catch a Predator ends after.
Just real quick. So you guys know on TV when like if you watch Law and Order and they put the guy in handcuffs and it's like you're now you have the right to remain silent, blah 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 blah, and you'll always see people be like, "Oh, you didn't read my rights," blah 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 blah. It's not real, dude. That's TV shit. You only need to be read your rights if you're being not interviewed, if you're being interrogated. That's the only time. I love it when Parody rolls his eyes. I roll my eyes. Yeah, if you're being interrogated, you need to be read your rights. But all that like, you didn't read my rights, blah 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 blah. Like, I'm like, no, it's not. This is not Law and Order, dude. But it looks good on the show, right? It looks really good on the shows, so that's why they always do that. But it's not real. Yeah, just fun fact. She looks like a duck. You're an idiot, dude. She's fucking gorgeous. You're dumb, dude. She's fucking super pretty, I think.
3 years. The show ends for multiple reasons. One being someone dies on camera, a prosecutor.
Yeah.
Someone
yeah.
who goes after criminals.
Yeah,
like the predators.
Rip
His name is
Bozo,
Bill
dude.
Conrad.
Can I get Rip Bozos in
He's
chat, please?
the next one to be caught on To Catch a Predator.
He shot himself in the
He's actually quite good
head.
at his job as a prosecutor, but also he's
That's why the show
messaging
ended.
13-year-old boys or who he thinks are 13-year-old boys on
Rip
the side after
Bozo.
work,
You're
asking
kidding me.
yes, asking insane questions about body parts.
What?
Yeah.
They try to lure him to a safe house to arrest him.
He doesn't
but
die on
Bill, the
camera.
prosecutor, ends up flaking on them.
Yeah,
They,
he ran.
Dateline, the host, police officers,
You can hear him
SWAT
shoot
teams
himself from
decide
outside.
that
Hi,
they're just
Nevi.
gonna ambush Bill inside of his house. They ambush him inside his house, which, side note, a lot of people question, why did they ambush him inside his house? Why didn't they wait until he was at work, which is a safer place to ambush him? But that's where the moral argument is. To Catch a Predator could not film inside his workplace.
Right.
They can film probably inside his house.
Right.
Others felt like the local police
Public versus
department
private.
working with Dateline,
Makes sense.
they'd been in hot water for not being
Well,
able
it's
to do
still
their jobs
private,
for a
but
while.
it still
So they
makes sense.
come in guns a-blazing, SWAT team and everything. Regardless, hindsight is 2020. Whether it's the police presence, the SWAT team, or the fact that the TV cameras are shoved in his face while the police are forcing entry into his home, he ends up self-exiting.
Bye.
Gunshot
Bye.
wound to the head, which
See ya,
was all
bozo.
caught on camera. Obviously not aired, but caught on camera. According to the show's host, Chris Hansen, he, quote, had CSA videos on his computer.
Dude. And this is in no possible way. Like, I am the most anti-PDF file person you'll ever meet, obviously. All I'm going to say is you should thank God every single day you weren't born a pedophile. Just get on the ground and kiss the ground and pray to God every day. Thank you so much. I heard a comedian once make a good comparison. They're like, listen, when I was 13, I like 13-year-old girls. Now I'm, whatever, 25. I like 25-year-old girls. Thank God. When I was a kid, I liked grape juice. Now I'm 25 and I like wine. But I still like grape juice. It's a really good comparison. It's a really good fucking comparison. You know? It's like, yo, listen, now it's pretty close. Pretty close, right? That's a good. I think that's Normand. I think that's who that is. I think it's Mark Normand. I think. I'm pretty sure.
He tried to get them off the hard drives and he couldn't, and the police were knocking on his door. He knew he would face 10 years
So
in
that shit
prison
in the
for each
microwave,
image.
bozo.
But other sources state that the police ran forensics. They found no illegal videos on his computer.
Whoa.
But he was talking to whom he believed was a 13-year-old boy, which was an adult. Bill's sister ultimately files a wrongful death suit against NBC for over $100 million, and they settle for an undisclosed amount. So with that, the show officially ends.
It's because they went to his house, yeah.
But there's been this new wave of influencers.
Yep.
They're called predator hunters.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. That's what they call themselves.
They're pretty funny,
They're
some of
live
them.
streamers that basically do the same exact thing of the show To Catch a Predator, but in real life, in real time. They lure people online with the promise of a great illegal time with a minor. They show up to the designated meeting spot, typically a motel or a parking lot, and the confrontation is live streamed.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Like
These channels are
also
harmful.
very-
You think so? Why do you think they're harmful? That's a good one. Untrained people catching because they don't work with law enforcement. It's true. It's a good point. Oh, it is dangerous. Someone's gonna get killed. Sometimes they're funny. I'll say they're funny, but it's not smart. That's what I'll say. It's dangerous. I never feel bad about a pedophile getting embarrassed. You know what I mean? Yeah, their thing is always like, oh, we'll call the cops, or we're gonna call the cops, and you can't be sure that it isn't even real. It could be staged for clicks. I've thought that before, but do you know how fucking desperate you'd have to be to like let yourself be the fucking fake predator? You'd have to be down really, really bad to accept that. And have yourself blasted on the internet in your face as the pedophile. You'd have to be really, really, really down bad. I read that they fuck up the process of people getting arrested for it. Oh, I'm sure they do. I can't speak about it too much legally, obviously, but I will say I had jury duty about I guess a year ago now. I was in jury duty, and one of the cases was this. Yeah. And you know what's so funny? Before it even started, they were like talking, like they tell you like a little bit of like the situation, but they didn't tell you much. All they really like after you decide is he guilty or not guilty, they tell you like the whole story because it was like pre-trial. It wasn't the actual trial, and it was called a grand jury where you decide, hey, is it going to go to court? But they don't tell you the full story. So they just told us that this guy was found with all this child porn and all this stuff. And from the story, like right away, I was like, oh, I get it. And everyone's like, what do you get? Like all the other jurors. I'm like, it was definitely like a fucking YouTuber or a TikToker, blah, 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 blah. And I ended up being right. I remember. I'm like, because I'm fucking brain rot and I watch too much internet. The fucked up part of that situation was you guys aren't going to want to hear this, but I'm just pure, dude. They fucking at jury duty. They're like, okay, now we have to show you guys all the evidence. And we were like, what? And they're like, yeah. You have to view the evidence. And we were like the photos and videos. And they're like, yeah. You gotta watch. You gotta see all the evidence. And we were like, no. And like one woman was like, I have to leave. I can't. And they're like, no, you can go to jail if you leave. This is jury duty. You can't leave. And everyone was like arguing with them, like the lawyers or whatever. Like, what are you out of your yeah, of course, yeah. And we were like, what are you out of your fucking mind? We're not doing this. Like, no. And they're like, you're gonna have to look at them. Everyone was like arguing. It was fucking crazy. And dude, they did it. They showed us like fucking 20, 30 images of like, dude, I'm not gonna like explain it obviously or describe it, but it was one of the worst days of my life. Yeah. One of the worst days. That's what jury duty is. No, I get why it is. No, it's not. They didn't do anything illegal or wrong. They did what they have to do. I get that. Believe me. But dude, it was really, 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 really terrible. You could never. You would, dude. Some people were crying. Dude, really, really tough day. Pero instantly asking for your position on the matter instead of screaming at you that you were wrong and saying no, but I think it's completely blah, 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 blah. Well, that didn't happen yesterday. If you were in stream when somebody had a bad opinion, kind of went off, kind of went a little hard on somebody yesterday. But you could target the mentally ill people who don't understand. I mean, on To Catch a Predator, a lot of them are mentally ill. I would have thought they would have been vetted out or something. No. So the way it works for grand jury, you only get vetted out for court cases. Like if you're going to court, but for the indictment, there's no like, they don't pre-interview you. It's literally, they bring out like a bingo ball machine. Bring out the bingo ball machine. And then it's okay, you're doing it. I liked it because I got out of work for like a month. It was a month. I didn't have to go to work and I was getting paid by my job. It was fucking awesome. Except for that one day. Oof, dude, bad day. Really bad. We were like, dude, this is illegal. You can't show us this. Like, this is the worst of the worst. How can you show us this? Like, you have to see it, or you can't tell us if the guy is guilty or not guilty. We're like, dude, like, I'm like, yeah, that's reasonable, but like, describe him to us, dude. I don't need to see that shit. Really tough, dude. Really tough day.
Very, very dangerous. And
So dangerous. Some netizens think it's bad because most jurisdictions might not take it seriously. Not that it's not serious, but there's so many legal implications on the influencer to the DA who is trying to take the case after the influencer catches a predator. The evidence could easily be thrown out by the judge considering how it's gathered. I mean, others argue, yeah, well, the justice system doesn't do much to predators anyway, so at least their faces are out there.
Also true.
Many netizens believe it to be peak vigilante justice, which is kind of what starts unraveling in Wadsworth, Ohio.
Oh, we're going,
A 50-year-old man calls the police to report his car stolen. In fact, he says it was carjacked, that he was...
What is it got to do with a 16-year-old woman? All right. We'll find out. Those prosecutors are probably more fucked up from having to see shit like that all the time. You're definitely right. Yeah, that's true. I wonder at a certain point, I feel like you probably don't ever get like, what's the word? You don't ever get hardened to it. That's not the right word, obviously, but tough, dude. That's a tough one. For example, an opinion like humans are meant to have, go numb. Yeah, exactly. I don't think you ever go numb to that shit. I know within like police stuff, like one of the hardest gigs you could do as a cop is, SVD, like special victims. That's tough, dude. That's a tough one, man. For example, an opinion like humans are meant to evolve beyond their flawed selves with bionic parts. They are incomplete and deserve to be categorized by usefulness. Cyril, what the fuck are you talking about? I had to go to jury duty, but it was for a friend of a friend's pedo case. I still feel uneasy seeing her. Oh my God. They showed her the photos, dude.
Just driving in a parking lot one day when this man comes up to him and is like, hey, I need a ride to the hospital. I'm not feeling well. And then all of a sudden he just opens the driver's seat door, slams him out of it, gets into the driver's side and steals his car, jacks his car. The police ask him, what parking lot were you in? They run the security cameras. That doesn't make sense because your car was not jacked by a random stranger. Your car was jacked by somebody that was in the passenger seat. So explain that. You were with the person that jacked your car. How do you say that you don't know who this person is if they're already in your car?
Insurance scam, yeah.
He changes his whole story. He says, you know what? I was actually very embarrassed. I'm a 50-year-old man and I work at the local church. I met this guy on Grindr. We were going to get freaky in my car. But then he snaps out of nowhere and just forces me out of the car and steals my car. I felt very embarrassed to tell you guys the truth, but that is what happened. The police are able to find CCTV footage that likely places a 17-year-old boy at the scene of the carjacking. This man is 50. This boy is 17. They bring him in. 17-year-old Gavin, his name is Gavin Ramsey. He looks very nervous.
16-year-old. Okay, we're close. We're getting closer now. Luckily for me, my jury duty was canceled. Jury duty can be awesome if your job is still paying you. You don't have to go to work. Jury duty can be awesome. No, not Gordon. I don't think it's Gordon Ramsay, no. I'm pretty sure it's not Gordon Ramsay.
Nervous when he comes into the interrogation room. The officer questioning him later reports, I observed that one of Gavin's hands was bleeding and that he had marks on both of his hands. He clenched his fingers to make a fist. He was flexing his forearms and neck muscles. I could see his pulse on his neck. He seems nervous and agitated. He's sitting there with his mom and there's 2 police officers, one male officer that's sitting next to him and one female officer that's sitting across from him that's asking all the questions. And his mom is encouraging him to come clean about everything.
I always told you kids, what happens in the dark comes out in the light. That's the way it works. You mess up, you get caught. You make
So
bad
just so
choices.
I understand, chat, what we're getting so far is that he met a 17-year-old on Grindr. He was in the front seat of the car, and he stole the car, right? I just want to make sure we're because I have to talk to chat and stuff like that, so I miss things sometimes. Yeah, so far, okay. Just want to make sure, because like having talking to chat can get confusing sometimes. Okay. I need Gordon Ramsay, or however you say his name. You want Guagua. I know you're gay sometimes. He's so funny. Okay, thank you guys.
You're gonna pay for it. So if there's something else, let's get it all out on the table.
You seen stuff like this, Pumpkin? No, I don't know anything about this.
The officer looks at him. Have you ever used an app called Grindr? No.
How do you feel about gay people?
I'm not gay.
Oh, that's okay. But they don't bother you?
No, nobody bothers me.
Later, Gavin asks his mom to leave the room so he can speak comfortably with the female detective alone.
Tell me he doesn't fuck a 98-year-old corpse to prove he's not gay. Please tell me that's not where this story's going. Please tell me that's not where this story's going. Hi, Tygon. You can read the title. We're watching true crime stuff. His mom's shirt says something about autism. I don't know. Is he autistic? I don't know.
And he explains.
The car drive thing, it was me. I'm gonna be honest about it, but the way that he explained it, that guy, that's not right. That grinder thing, yeah, I have been on it, and this guy was like the first time that this happened.
No, Sierra, I disagree. How do you feel about gay people? Shut the fuck up, Karen, because you are being annoying. That's clearly bait for if he says, yes, I'm fine with gays, you start ranting conservative ideals at him. That's literally not the point right now. No, Ciro, not a Karen. Detective, Ciro. Big difference. They're trying to get him to say stuff. Or you try to get them mad so they'll be like, no, this is what happened. Ciro, bad take. Bad take, Ciro. Yes, they're being interviewed. Yes, Ciro. Not a Karen. Who do you think? It's just some random lady? No, they're interviewing him. They're trying to get him to admit what happened. That's why you say stuff like that. Because then he would be like, no, I don't have a problem with gay people. I'm not fucking gay. He's gay. Or, you know what I mean? Detective is trying to confirm the guy was on Grindr. Yeah, Ciro. It's okay.
And I told him, like, I was 17 and everything, and I wasn't planning on doing anything with him. It's not my style. I was just, like, he's a 40-year-old man trying to get with a 17-year-old, so I was just going to rob him. Like,
Okay.
It's still messed up, but
You're good, Ciro.
against what he's doing, I don't really think it is.
Yeah, exactly.
He's saying that he went on Grindr, met a middle-aged man, told him his real age, 17 years old. The middle-aged man doesn't care. He still wants to meet up. So to teach him a lesson, he decides, I'm going to meet up with him and rob the guy. I'm going to carjack him. He argues it's technically not the worst plan because what kind of middle-aged 50-year-old something man even
Doesn't
will
everyone think he's above 18? I mean, when you make your profile, but then when you start talking, he's like, hey, actually, I'm 17. That's what I'm thinking.
willingly meets up with a 17-year-old to do intimate things with to begin with.
Because he said he told the guy I'm 17 and the guy was still down, so.
If anyone deserves to be robbed, it's going to be him, right? I mean, I guess I could kind of see the point, right?
Yeah.
Gavin explains that he
I'm
got
so
into the
far, man.
passenger seat of the old man's car. They park. The old man asks if he wants to move the party to the back seat. They both open the car doors. The
I've
old
used
man
that
gets
line.
out the driver's side, but instead of getting out the passenger side, Gavin slams the door shut, locks the doors, leaving the old man locked out of his own car, jumps into the driver's seat, and just starts
Based.
driving around the parking lot.
Based.
At first, he just wanted to mess with him. So he would drive. The old man would run up to the driver's side window, and then he'd be like, you, and then keep driving some more, and then the old man would run up to the driver's
So
side
far,
window
so good.
again and again, and eventually the old man runs off to call the cops. Gavin describes that he drove the car to a nearby
Grinder's not the place, dude. Grinder's crazy, dude. Grinder will literally tell you like how many feet away somebody is that wants to suck your dick. So crazy.
parking lot and abandoned it. He just went home and blocked the guy on Grindr. That's
Not
it.
miles, feet.
Really? He wasn't stealing the car.
So he didn't steal the
just
car.
Yeah.
Want to teach him a lesson.
The officer asks him,
You told him your age?
Yeah, I told him I was 17.
Yeah, but there's got to be more to the story because why would you report that as the guy? You know, you just gave yourself up as a pedophile. There's got to be more to the story because, like, that's like if like you ever watch Cops or something like that, and then like the lady, it's like a crackhead, and she'll be like, yeah, like he stole my crack, and the cop's like, are you telling us right now somebody stole your crack, and you want to report that? Yeah. It's like, no, you don't want to report that, lady. My IRL bestie uses Grinder. I've heard things. Oh, I've heard plenty of stuff. I had friends that used to use Grinder or use Grinder. Yeah. I've heard plenty of stuff. If only this kid didn't murder an old woman, he would have been a hero. That's what I'm saying, dude. But this is a 16-year-old. So now is he lying that he's 17? Or did he do it a year back? Or was it a year back he did this, you know?
Are you gay?
No, that's not it. Like, I didn't have any plans to.
That's why she keeps saying it over and over. She's trying to get him upset. To explain what happened. Like, I'm not fucking gay. What happened is this. That's why she's doing that. She's trying to get him agitated. So he'll just be like, no, this is what happened. But it's not working. I told him I was 17. Right, true. Exactly. In New York, that'd be legal, but
It was just for him being that crappy of a person to try and get with a child, basically.
At what point in time did you tell him how old you were?
Over text.
say
is
that's
what I told him. And that's why I decided I was going to do that.
so we should have proof of that.
Your app.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can't pull that back up.
No, that's deleted. I think I blocked the guy too, so that, like, deletes him completely, like, out of. I can't search him up or anything.
Why were you on that app?
I don't know Grinder to know if that's true or not.
Really, just for that reason, to find guys that are that low of people, I guess.
That want to get with kids?
Mm-hmm. Like, it's karma, really. Like,
Okay.
if you're going to do that, then I'm going to rob you.
You told him you were 17? What was his response to that?
He was, like, okay, and he was down to meet. So that's when I decided I was just going to take his money and leave.
Did he touch you at all?
So,
Did he ask you for any pictures?
he
Probably.
did, but send money.
He didn't send him any, but he asked you for, what did he ask you pictures of?
Wait, so the one who asked him if he was gay was the detective, not his mom, who just left the room. His mom was only telling him to come clean. That's correct. Yeah. Yep. And like the mom was in the room because he's a minor. And then if she would have to ask if they have to ask her, is he allowed to be interviewed without her? But I'm sure she's watching through the glass. Like they can't do things behind her back. The mom gets to watch everything. So I'm sure she's watching through like the two-sided mirror or whatever. Hey, local.
My body and,
Did he ask you for pictures of your penis?
yeah.
The officer says, okay, well, I'm sure your mom's standing out there freaking out.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, she probably thinks I'm confessing to murder. She's been in here so long.
He laughs. Okay, well, how do you want to tell your mom? Do you want me to tell her? Do you want to tell her? I mean, she's going to have to know. So when Gavin's mom comes back into the room, the police
This is what we're watching.
fill her on and everything, and she's just scolding her son. Like, why are you even on an app like this? And Gavin's just shrugging. I don't know, Mom. I don't know why I do anything that I do.
That sounds all vigilante crazy to me. That's what that sounds like.
The officer is staring at Gavin and his mom, just analyzing them throughout this entire
Yeah, it sounds like vigilante justice, but like I don't hate what if it's real and we seem to know how this is gonna end, but if it's real, like so far so good. Like so far I'm like, okay, like you gotta get in trouble for it. You can't be doing this shit like that. But like, okay, like cool kid. I'm down with it so far.
entire bizarre interaction of, I mean, I'm sure they typically don't get cases like this. And she explains, I'm sure you guys already know about all the going-ons in the neighborhood, about the elderly woman that was found murdered. You know, there are speculations that her corpse was used for necrophilic acts, but, you know, she
Here
was
we go,
stuffed into
baby.
the closet.
Here we go.
Gavin's mom responds, oh my God, that was horrifying. They actually live 5 houses down from this 98-year-old woman that was recently murdered. So now they're just chit-chatting about local crime.
Oh my God, that was horrifying. That was horrifying. It is horrifying.
The 98-year-old was murdered and
And essayed. Her corpse was essayed
Oh shit.
and stuffed into her own closet 5 houses down from Gavin and his mom.
I don't condone violence, but I'm not going to stop someone from taking a pedo or a Nazi in the face. Yeah, agreed. As long as it's a real Nazi and not just someone you don't like on the internet. I think we've really like, you're smart, Blue, so I know that's not what you mean, but we've gotten like so far that like the word Nazi is like losing its fucking meaning, which is very annoying. There are Nazis out there. They're not people who voted for fucking Trump. Sorry, guys. I know you're going to be mad about that, but it's true. They're not Nazis. Some of them are, I'm sure, but not everyone you don't like on the fucking internet's a fucking Nazi. We got to stop using fucking words. Not to go on a tangent real quick. I'm not pro-Trump or anything like that. I didn't vote. Full transparency. But not everyone you don't like on the internet's a Nazi. We got to stop using words that have real meaning, real important meaning, because they lose their meaning. And then it means nothing. You start calling everyone who you know what I mean, is a Nazi, then all of a sudden that word means nothing anymore. You know what I mean? And it washes away the actual horrible things that Nazis did. Just saying. I know that's not what you meant, Blue, because I know you're smart enough to know the difference, but it happens a lot. Just an aside, but just something in my opinion.
Wow.
So now they're just chit-chatting. And the police ask, you notice any strange vehicles or anything? No, but the day it all unfolded, we didn't even know what was going on. And we have 2 dogs. I have a very small one, and she was in the kitchen with me. And she just kept looking at the back door and growling, and she
Reminds me of the
does
Jewish
that.
guy that voted Trump and got called a Nazi. Exactly, dude. Like, come on, dude. Come on. There were the Tiki Torch guys. Yeah, those were Nazis. Yeah, call those guys Nazis. Go punch those guys in the face. Yeah. Your 6-year-old, your 7-year-old grandpa that was in World War II and just doesn't want his money to be going to like crack pipes or like no, he's probably not a Nazi, dude. He actually probably fought to stop Nazis. Funny enough. Like, come on, dude.
I got like goosebumps.
Guy gets
So I
outed by
just
his
felt
own mom. Yeah, that's where I feel like that's where this is going, dude.
so unlike her, and I kept looking out, and the neighbor girl has like they built a tree house on the ground. And I kept thinking, God, what if somebody's in there? It just freaked me out because it's all wooden down there and it's all woods. But that was the only thing that was up.
There you go. That's a fucking awesome comment. This could be like a game. Nazi or Nazi? Dude, that's a good comment. That's a really good comment, dude. This kid sounds sick. Yeah, not great. I mean, the first half was cool. Not gonna lie, dude.
Off. Yeah, it was that. Did you know the 98-year-old woman at all?
No, other than just to see her out, like on a porch, that actually makes me want to cry. Like, how do you get to be 98 years old? Nobody lives to be 98. It's so rare. And someone else thought that was okay. Like,
Look at the kid. Look at the kid who has his head down like that. Ooh. Who brought up, now let me ask you a question. Who brought up the 98-year-old woman? Was it the detective or was the mom that brought it up? Like, oh, I'm sure you've heard about what's been happening in the neighborhood. Who was that? Was that his mom or was that the detective? The mom brought it up? Oh, dude. Oh, mom, dude. The Shinji pose? My face when I raped a 8-year-old corpse. Bro. Really, really good job, Ciro. Really, really, really good job. I'm very proud of you. That's fucking awesome. Say hi to YouTube, because that's in the clip. That's fucking fantastic. Well done.
how does that, I don't know, like, why does your life been like that?
Gavin is fidgeting with a tissue while his mom goes on and on about the 98-year-old woman. And the crazy thing is, like,
Velvet's not here to
danger
clip it
issues
for
now.
me.
Unfortunately for Gavin's mother, it's not stranger danger that she should be worried about. Because whoever did this to Margaret is a lot closer than she thinks. And he might have something to do with the 98-year-old woman's murder, but also the local carjackings.
Whoa. Goddamn is right. I love the way she explains
We
stuff.
would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support the Joyful Heart Foundation, whose mission is to transform society's response to SA, domestic violence, and CA. And
What was the
support
whole
providers
Reddit
who
spiel at the
remain
beginning?
against violence forever.
I don't
Also,
know.
its partnerships have made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team. And we'd also
I
like
don't
to
know.
thank
That's a
you
good
guys for
question.
continued
Why did she
support
bring
as
that
we
up?
work on our mission to be worthy advocates.
Maybe it'll come. Maybe it'll come back around.
Podcast.com. A few big disclaimers for today's case.
I mean,
This
they were
case
talking
is
about To Catch a Predator,
graphic compared to some of the
right,
movies and
on that
cases we will
site, and then
cover.
it went to
It
Vigilante
involves graphic
Justice,
descriptions
and now it
of
went to
the
this. You know what I
of
mean?
SA,
So maybe she was just
where
trying to
most of
build
the local
the
population.
story
So
up,
please
like
watch
build
this
the
with your own
the
discretion.
world of
Never
like,
too much. Take a
you know what I
break,
mean?
relax,
That's all I could
guys,
think
and
of.
I'll see you in the next one.
But I don't know. I don't know.
Necrophilia-
You know what I'm saying? Because like they were discussing on Reddit, like change my mind, To Catch a Predator is bad or not bad or whatever they were saying. And then it was like, oh, some guys do vigilante justice on them. And then it's like, hey, this kid claims to have done vigilante justice. So that's all I could think, but I'm not sure.
Is rare.
It's a good question.
We hope. It's hard to say exactly how rare necrophilia is because most people who have necrophilic tendencies do not come forward with them. But perhaps it's common enough that some experts have created 10 different classifications of necrophiles.
Whoa.
Class 1 necrophiles that do not seek corpses, but they're just aroused by the fantasy of having intimate relations with one. They might
I got it. Thank you.
engage in consensual
Thank
adult
you.
activities where one partner pretends to be dead.
Whoa.
Class 2,
Hi, Raymond.
they will only commit necrophilia because of an emotional attachment. For example, in 2013, a wife was found sleeping next to her husband's decaying corpse for a year after he passed.
A year?
Because she just can't let go of him.
Holy shit.
Then the classifications progressively
No one's ever gonna love me that much. That's crazy.
get more severe from there, with class 9 being homicidal necrophiles, individuals who commit murder to obtain a corpse for sexual purposes.
Oh, that's like
Then you
Jeffrey
have class
Dahmer.
10, individuals who are only attracted to corpses and will continuously kill to obtain corpses and cannot perform sexually without a corpse.
Holy shit.
One self-identifying necrophiliac goes onto Reddit to try and explain why they're necrophiliac. And they write, the reason why I'm interested in dead bodies is
You see, we're back on Reddit now. We're back on Reddit now. See? Maybe he was the kid who wrote the Reddit post that like, hey, To Catch a Predator is not a bad thing. You know what I mean? Maybe it was him. Yeah. You see? Trust in Stephanie Sue, okay? That's not a face that would lie to you.
because of their passivity, you know, and maybe vulnerability. For some reason, the way they stay there alone makes me think that they're really lonely and I should take care of them.
Whoa.
And they can't reject me or mock me. It's like a blank canvas and you can project all your feelings onto them.
Holy shit.
To which someone asked, why would you not be able to just use an intimate doll then? Because they don't have feelings, they can't reject you.
Right.
If a real human is too much for you, then why not a doll? With a corpse, the part of fascination comes from the concept of death itself. Someone had a life and now it's ended, and this physical shell is the only proof of that. And I want to use the physical shell. Another netizen asks, fresh corpse or
Holy
old
shit.
corpse? Fresh one, though signs of death are appreciated. I also had fantasies about killing, specifically to get the corpse, but I'm not proud of those fantasies. Now, according to one small study, the most common occupations for necrophiles are hospital orderlies, morgue attendants, funeral home assistants, and
Makes
cemetery
sense.
employees.
Makes
Now, to be
sense.
clear, that does not mean that most or even a big group of those workers are necrophiliacs.
I'm sure it's like 0.01%. Yeah. If not less than that. I'm sure it's like 1 in a fucking million. Oh, man. I don't know if any of you guys have ever smelled a dead body before. I don't know if you guys have ever had the displeasure of smelling a dead body. It's not something I could imagine wanting to cuddle up next to, dude. Kissing the ground that I'm a normal ass person. Yeah. Dude, I got some fun kinks, but oof, man, there is another world, man. Oh, man. Thank God rigor mortis takes forever before decay. Yes, but the smell can happen like within a week, if not less, depending on like if it's hot out and stuff. In the summer, dude, I was in the room when an elderly croaked. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. You're not. That sucks. Sorry to hear that. But yeah, that's nowhere near like as bad. Yeah, as close. Oh boy.
They're just people doing a job. But the small population of necrophiliacs, obviously, they're going to gravitate towards these jobs. Still very uncommon.
Right, that makes sense.
But in Wadsworth, Ohio, when a 17-year-old boy, like a junior in high school, applies to work at the local funeral home around the same time that a 98-year-old woman, Margaret Douglas, is found stuffed into her closet, partially nude, with suspicions that necrophiliac acts had taken place after her death, after her murder. You really have to wonder, are these connected? You are 3 times more likely to become a billionaire than get murdered at 98 years old.
Right.
It's just not something that typically happens.
Right.
But then why is 98-year-old Margaret missing? Before they find her murdered, she's considered missing. Police have to explore the idea that she wandered somewhere in a confused state, and if so, is she in danger? There's this massive manhunt for 98-year-old Margaret Douglas. That's what the Wadsworth police have to figure it out, and fast, because people in the community are starting to get antsy.
Yeah.
They went through
Holy
and
shit.
looked all the
I think the girls with their nails done now.
Girl, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. I don't know if I can do a shout out from here. Might not work. Hi, Pearl. Poltergeist. Let me see if I can. No, I can't do it from here. Velvet, are you here? Velvet? So I can shout you out. Oh, I can do it from my phone. Where's my phone? I got you. How you doing, Raiders? Welcome in. No, that's not going to work. You guys can't do it. Thank you for trying. Oh, you're here? Okay, Val. So I didn't know if you were here or not. I appreciate you. But yeah, welcome in, Raiders. Just caution, trigger warning, or whatever the fuck. You can see the title of what we're watching. We're watching like true crime and stuff. So this is a particularly harsh one. So like if you get queasy about that kind of thing, I understand if you can't stay or if you want to go elsewhere. But if not, you're welcome to stay and hear some stuff, man. But yeah, how was your stream, bro? I really appreciate you. I was about to message Velvet you. Thank you, Kay. It's okay. If she's ever not here, I can take an extra second to open my phone and do it myself. But thank you, Val, as always. But yeah, what'd you do for stream? How'd your stream go? But yeah, and also if you have to raid and run, Pearl, you do what you got to do. Don't you worry. Yeah, cool. What'd you do?
Nothing. Detectives start going door to door, and every single family on the street, neighbors of 98-year-old Margaret.
Oh, cat girls for adoptables. Are you gonna post them on Twitter so I can look at them later? I want to see them. I like me a cat girl. Yeah, cat girl. Yeah. Oh, you will? Okay, cool. I'll check them out. Cat girls, cat boy. No, cat girls. Oh, he's a cat boy. Yeah. Did you know that some people didn't know I'm a reaper? I might have told you guys this already. When I posted my smash or slash, I forget who it was. Oh, I know who it was. But someone was like, "Wait, you're a reaper?" And I'm like, "Yes, I've always been a reaper." What? And they're like, "I thought you were like a cat boy, like a cat man." I'm like, "What? Like, what are you talking about?" And yeah, I'm like, "I have a scythe and everything. What do you mean a cat boy?" I'm like, "I have a cat. I'm not a cat boy." And she was like, "Oh, I don't know, like the fangs and stuff." And I'm like, "Not a cat boy. Not a cat boy. I've never even put cat ears on myself. I've thought about it. Okay, you know what kind of resisting I've had to do? I mean, you would make a good cat boy. I would make a good cat boy. I should get cat ears at some point, but please, maybe one day. Maybe if you guys are really good. Maybe if I be a dog boy. I'm never doing a buddy boy. Cat boy arc? Dude, no, that's your thing, dude. You're the cat boy maid, okay, Arc? Can I get a shout out for Arc, by the way? If you guys don't watch Arc, please do. He's my fucking inspiration to push my streams higher. Big truth. My stream quality has been better since I became friends with Arc. Arc, we're friends. I don't know if you knew that, by the way. Zero, you're not a mod. It's not going to work. Only Velvet can do it. Haku, you also can't do it. Okay, can I get a shout out for Haku also? It's not going to work. You guys can keep trying. It's not going to work. Cut the shit. All right, guess what? I'm also recording right now for YouTube, and it's not glitchy at all. Hi, Haku. Hi, everybody. God damn it, you guys are the worst. Parody is not a cat boy. He's a pussy daddy. Well, yeah, but a cat daddy works just fine. Please. I tell you guys, Ark's my inspiration. If you're like, yo, he's been doing a lot. He's been adding a lot of stuff lately. You know what I mean? You know, and it's like, why is he be doing all that? And I'm like, you know why? Oh, you guys, you know what I should be doing every time that I tell you stuff like, hey, you guys know that the reading your rights thing is for TV. It's not real. How's that? Like, okay, actually, guys, actually, it's not completely real, guys. And Central, yeah, I have like 1034 stupid chatter in chat right now. Yeah, being really extra degenerate. I'm gonna have to conduct a checkpoint. Can I get the patrol supervisor to my location? Yeah, 10-4. Thank you, Central. You know what I mean? I will shout them out in 2 minutes. You can give Haku the exclamation point SL one if you want. You look good in those glasses. Yeah, you want to know the sad part? The dark ones, I have another one that's darker. It looks better, but then you can't see my eyes at all. And I know you guys would prefer to see my eyes, I feel like. But the dark ones do look more cop-like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just to be clear. But the cop one does look better. I mean, the dark ones look better. You should look at the image I sent in our chat. Say less, dude. Wait, what is this? Wait, what is this? Wait, which one are you talking about? You should look at the picture, the image of what? Of Haku with the batteries? Oh yeah, guys, if you guys don't know Haku, do check her out also. She licks batteries. She admitted on our stream, yeah. She's going to jail for it. As a cop, I can say that. No ACAB comments. I'm very surprised. I'm proud of my chat. We talked about Nazis, and now we're not yelling ACAB at me for wearing a cop outfit. I'm very proud of you guys.
Are now potential suspects. The first door swings open. It's a couple, the Scotts. We knew
know
Micah,
you-
but we weren't really close with her. She's definitely with it, but every time we spoke with her,
Yeah,
she'd tell us
base
that
cop,
she was
base
a different
cop.
age. But she's smart enough
Micah,
to take her own trash
dude,
out.
I think give so many shout outs to people. Okay, after Haku, can we get Micah on a shout out? That actually, I could probably just, you can do the SO. Does that work from here? What do I gotta do from my phone? Oh, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. Hi, Micah. All the streamer friends coming in. I'm saying, dude, this should have just been a fucking collab at this point.
Out.
No,
You
I got
should
Micah.
grab
I
her
got
mail
Micah.
and
I got
paper.
Micah.
Did you see any strange cars parked outside? No, we didn't. Sorry.
If you just got here, we're watching a true crime on 16-year-old murders 98-year-old woman to sexually assault her corpse for 2 hours while recording. Welcome in, guys. We're having fun. Yeah, Ron Mango. Hell yeah. Yeah. See? I just don't do that one because you said it is too loud. Yeah. No. Yeah, I appreciate it. That's why I did it myself. Don't worry about that. I just can't do the slash shout out one from my end without like having to open other screens. But that one I can do if it's like whatever. It's just when I don't expect it, it hurts my ears. But if I know it's coming, it's okay.
The next neighbor, Eric.
Thank you, Belle.
I mean, the last few days, I did think it was strange. Her porch light would normally be on, but it's been off the past few days, which I thought was weird. But I didn't see anything else. The next neighbor. I did see something. Well, I'm not sure. Maybe it's nothing. What is it? Well, sometimes I saw the Spectrum trucks in the area, but that's it. Okay, well, things
That's
are done.
nothing. Yeah.
The next neighbor, a burly-looking man, like a muscular dude, steps out into the porch. His arms are crossed. His energy is very hostile. The police feel like he's not going to be helpful. But they start asking him questions, and he oddly gets a little too chatty, very chatty. We've lived here for like 18 years, and I'm telling you, recently, less people are buying the homes, or the ones that are buying the homes are just converting the homes into these rentals. And look at that street down there. That one, that's a rental, that's a rental. I barely know my neighbors now. When we first moved in
Right, this
18
is
years
not
ago, I
cop
knew every
information.
single one of my neighbors, and now
Yeah,
I don't know
I don't
any
care
single.
about this.
And then the mailman, it was the same mailman for the past like years, I think like 15 years, and then suddenly, all of a sudden, it's a new mailman for the past 2 months, and now we got this guy, and I don't know who this guy is.
Next.
Wait, are these all like police taped?
They're all in the incident reports. They're not taped, but all in the reports. Every single neighbor.
Big and burly, yeah, like me.
Okay.
Every single one of them is documented. And the police are even saying, yeah, we thought this guy was not going to be helpful because his body language was closed off, arms are crossed. He steps out into the porch, and then he becomes, quote, very chatty. Very chatty. Too helpful,
Like
but
me.
ultimately nothing comes out of it, right?
Yeah,
Next
damn new
neighbor.
mailman. I don't
She
trust
doesn't
this
really
guy.
have too many friends. She doesn't really attend church or join any of the other communities. But I never saw her as confused. She was very sharp even at her old age. 98, I don't think that she would have wandered anywhere
She
unless
lived alone
she
at 98?
recently
That's
woke up
sad,
and
man.
became confused. But I don't know if that happens like that. The next neighbor the police talk to ends up coming to them. A woman is waiting at the lobby of the police station. She can't even sit still. She seems very nervous. I walk my dog in that area. My mother, who is also around that age, but very elderly, she lives nearby, so this whole case hits closer to home for me. And I just keep thinking about Margaret out at night, freezing in the cold. Anyway, I thought I would just drive around hoping to find her myself, but
Right. They didn't know
I
she
saw
was in
these
the
two guys
fucking
sitting in
closet.
the area, like loitering. Do you remember what they look like? In their 50s? I don't really remember, but I know that one of them looked a lot younger than the other one. I remember that. They said it was
Oh.
foul play, that Margaret is a nice person that didn't deserve that. And I was like, where are they getting this information?
One older,
Look,
one
I watch a
younger?
lot of cop shows, and I'm kind of into missing persons
Was it
cases
them
and
from?
stuff.
Was it him
I
and the
thought they
guy from
were
Grinder?
concerning. They were suspicious. The police take her account and continue with the investigation. But a day after Margaret is reported missing, it's clear that she did not wander anywhere. Howard, her nephew, Margaret's nephew, is searching Margaret's entire house for the second time. And there's a few things that Margaret would never leave the
She
house.
does such a good job. Like she reads through all the case studies. She gets all the fucking footage. Like that's what I'm saying. As far as true crime stuff goes, she's Stephanie Sue, aka Rotten Mango over here, is tremendous. Just saying.
With. Even in a state of confusion, she always brings her favorite coat in the colder months, and all year round, she wears her favorite shoes, her favorite sneakers. So the first time they searched the house, Howard's wife Cindy found Margaret's favorite coat. This is in
surprised.
April in Ohio, so it's still pretty cold outside. But
That's
maybe
why.
she was so confused that she didn't take the coat. Howard opens up that
saying, I'm
little
surprised she's
closet
not
again,
decaying
and
yet.
it's messier than usual. It looks like someone took all the clothes that were hanging and just pulled them down and then let them sit on the ground. Let them fall to the floor.
Wait, they checked the
He
closet
starts rummaging
before.
around.
They checked the closet before and saw nothing. Did he put the body back there or something like that? She's the coolest. Yeah, she rocks, dude.
On the floor, and he's like, what is that? He grabs it. It's cold. It's a vacuum handle. It's very messy in there.
Oh.
He's digging, and he comes across Margaret's favorite shoe. Then he finds the other shoe. Her favorite shoes are in here.
How big is this closet?
And both of them
They didn't root
are still
around?
attached to Margaret. She is dead. She has been strangled, stuffed into this tiny closet with her head on the ground and the rest of her body upwards, because it's a very small closet. Her underwear is completely torn, ripped off of her body. Her bra is pushed up, exposing her chest.
Oh my God.
And her nightgown is all the way open. So it's not even just murder. I mean, there seems to be a huge sexual element here. Whoever killed Margaret likely did it for sexual reasons.
Right.
The oddest piece of this evidence that they gather once they find Margaret's body is the main clue, a jar of blackberry jam that's left in the living room. And it looks used, but not for intended purposes, not for
Oh God. Tell me he didn't. Oh God. Tell me he didn't use it to cover up. Oh God. Oh God. Tell me that's not. Tell me he didn't do what I think he did with it. Oh God. Okay.
for toast. The blackberry jam will have been used to commit acts of necrophilia.
Oh God damn it.
Testing would reveal male DNA inside the blackberry jam bottle
Oh
because
my
it was
God.
used as lubricant.
Oh my God. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, I thought it was salad tossing too, but somehow less bad. But that is a wild choice. Yeah, I actually thought what you thought, Val. Oof. You don't spoil Guagua.
Friend that calls to alert Margaret's family that Margaret is missing. He had stopped by to check up on her and says that she didn't answer the door. This guy's name is David. David had grown up near Margaret with Margaret and her late husband, and he actually morphed into a friend and a caretaker than just a fellow resident. Recently, he moved away.
Surprised
and now
the
that
cops
Margaret
even
is found
checked the
murdered,
fucking
he's
jam
not
bottle.
answering the police's phone calls.
Very
They can't get in
surprised.
contact with David, which is alarming because maybe he did something to her. So as authorities are going in and out of the house to look for any signs of foul play, they just keep seeing this guy lurking around, hands in his pockets watching them. I'm sorry, can we help you? Well, I used to live in this neighborhood and I just wanted to see what was going on. I guess also I'm concerned. I used to know Margaret and, I would visit a lot and sometimes help her around the house, and I bet all my fingerprints are all over in that house. I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Yeah, weird.
David? This is the guy that they're looking for, just lingering around the crime scene.
What?
They bring him into the police station, and after a pretty lengthy interrogation, as well as a DNA test, David is ruled out as a suspect. It appears that his care for Margaret was miscommunicated.
He almost
The police
spoke himself
realized, no,
into he almost spoke himself into handcuffs, my man.
this guy is
Jesus
actually
Christ.
just a friend of Margaret's, and he's trying to do his own little investigation, basically. So it's not David. Then what's the other motive? I mean, what motive does anybody have to kill a 98-year-old woman?
Yeah.
Perhaps a will. She doesn't have kids, but maybe she has relatives that would financially benefit from her death. Primarily a nephew, Howard, the one that found her body, and his wife, Cindy, are pretty close to her. Howard and Cindy. But when authorities look into it, nobody has power of attorney over Margaret. She doesn't have a will. Financially speaking, nobody was going to benefit from her death. Cindy, Margaret's niece, tells investigators, Margaret bothered no one. That's why it's just so horrible. The detective is calmly watching her as she breaks down. I'm sorry. It's emotional because she wouldn't even harm a flea. Then they talk to Howard, the nephew, and he talks about finding Margaret's body, and he said it didn't register at first. You know, the shoe he was looking for was attached to Margaret. He didn't even connect the dots. He says, I couldn't pick up the shoe, and I'm thinking, what's holding the shoe? So I took and I grabbed another piece of clothing, I threw it back. I've never seen this before in my life. I touched it. It was cold. It felt clammy. It felt like styrofoam.
Have fun
to me,
playing
so I
Stardew
moved
Valley,
it.
Blue.
And then I moved another piece of clothing, and that's when I felt a part of her leg. And it felt like the same thing. Styrofoam, cold, clammy. And I'm thinking, why does she have styrofoam in here? What is this? Then it hit me. That's basically when we left the house in a hurry. I've never seen, I mean, I'm sure you guys deal with it all the time, but I've never, I mean, to me, it didn't look like flesh or skin. It's pretty obvious when you hear Howard and Cindy talk about Margaret that they would never hurt Margaret. Obviously, they are still ruled out by DNA, but there is an interesting clue left in the 911 call when Howard reports Margaret missing. He calls 911.
Yes, this is Howard Leisure. My aunt lives on Portage Street,
Okay.
and a friend of ours stopped over there yesterday to check on her, and she was nowhere to be found. We didn't know if you found anybody wandering.
No, we don't have any reports of anybody wandering.
We can't find her in the house anywhere. He went in the house and looked through the whole house, couldn't find her. We don't know where she's at. She's 98 years old.
If she lived there by herself?
She lives there by herself, yes.
What's her name?
Margaret Douglas, and she never locks her house.
The same detectives are working another case, a string of carjackings in the area. That's why they're bringing in 17-year-old Gavin to tell them what happened to the man whose car he jacked after meeting up on Grindr.
Right.
Gavin is sitting there sandwiched between the male cop and his mom, and the female cop is asking him the questions. And the female detective is still again saying, you know, we've got a lot going on in the neighborhood lately, and probably more than the general public is even aware of. More than one incident. Gavin's mom is not.
His face
I'm
reminds you of
sure.
JoJo
Yes,
Siwa.
okay.
Why?
Unfortunately, we're trying to see if, you know, they're all related. Right. Later, the officers ask them what they think should happen to Margaret's killer, since the case is all anyone is talking about in the area right now, and they just live like 5 houses down.
What do you think should happen to somebody that does that?
To kill someone?
Kills a 98-year-old woman?
I don't know. I think eye for an eye is the best way to go. That's how I look at things. That's what my mom was saying too, is like what she thinks two things that could be is like a grandparent nephew. Like, because my brother's friend, his dad works for some county, and he was saying that like her entire family was like in her will and they were all getting like money and stuff. So he was saying like one of the grandkids or nephews, or I don't even know who's in the family, but they could have done that to get money, or just some junkie in Wadsworth, which that would not surprise me.
The police will later ask Gavin's mom, when was the most recent time that your son got in trouble, Mom? Because Gavin's always in trouble with the law. Even at 16 years old, he had a felony.
He has not had any freedom at all. I mean, he literally goes to work and home probably 3 months because he makes bad choices, and we're just.
I started a poll, by the way.
For our kids, so he literally has no life.
If you guys want to vote.
And he's snuck out before. I just recently moved his bedroom downstairs close to mine with his younger brother, because, you know, they tend to tattle, so that I could keep, you know, it's terrible that I did it. And it still isn't doing enough, because Morton probably was sound asleep. It's been a few months since he's had any freedom.
Gavin admits that he does sneak out and rummage through cars here and there, but he never really takes anything of value. It's just he goes inside the car and looks. And the police ask, and you don't
No
take
walkies.
anything, not even change or anything?
Maybe like 50 times, but other than that, seriously nothing.
Wait, so he
Gavin's-
say he breaks into people's car to look?
Yes.
Yo, you
Not
like
to
her,
steal
Nizzy?
money.
No.
Well, that's even more scary.
Gavin's mom is super upset. She's rolling her eyes, turning to. I mean, what would you do if someone did that to my car? You'd be
Oh
upset.
no, I hope you
it's
don't
so
arrest
upset-
me. I hope he doesn't catch me. Yeah, it just clicked in my head that for true crime, it would be kind of funny to wear the cop stuff. So if you guys like that, it's not a bad idea. I've been watching her for years. Yeah, I get her reel sometimes, and I was like, hey, I want to watch one of her videos, and I was like, wait, let's just watch them on stream. That's and I cut them down and make YouTube videos out of them. So yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, she's great. She's so good. She explains things so well.
upsetting and scary.
I understand that, but it's really their own fault for not locking.
No,
What did he just say?
Oh, not locking their doors. They said that Margaret didn't leave her. She never locked her door, right? Ooh, boy. Oh man.
There's a massive global company that most of us have likely never heard of. It's called Celebrite. They're a digital forensics company that primarily works with law enforcement from around the world. It basically takes all the data from a phone, like the things you thought you deleted, and it helps officers get an idea of what you're doing. It can even pull location information from apps to try and get a general idea of your movements, as well as pattern recognition.
You have to go watch it. Go right for church. You're going to church after you just watch this whole time? That's intense. Enjoy church. Yikes. Go confess your sins of being a fan of mine.
You can type in a keyword and it'll search the entire phone, going through search history, messages, videos, folders, everything, even deleted data, which gives the officers a comprehensive look at all the times this phone has talked about insurance fraud, for example. They can typically even pull PIN numbers and passwords, or even the pattern locks, like you know how some phones do the pattern locks? They can pull those, which would be the perfect thing to use in Gavin's case. He told authorities that he told the 50-year-old man on
Right,
Grindr
that
that
he
he was
was
underage.
17, yep.
The 50-year-old man still wanted to see him. That's why he carjacked him. But all those messages are deleted because he deleted the Grindr app and he doesn't remember which one of his fake emails he used to create his profile because he has 1,000 different emails for YouTube.
For YouTube.
He says for creating different YouTube accounts. It would greatly benefit Gavin if they can find all that because at least they can present this information to the
course.
judge.
It would only
He's
help
still
him.
likely going to get charged with carjacking, but still. Now they need
Right,
to
he's
get Gavin's
underage
mom's
and-
permission because he's underage. She's the parent. She's the one paying for the phone. And Gavin's mom tells authorities when she hands over the phone, it is what it is. Whatever they find, I pray to God there's nothing too horrible in there. It will be worse than
Oh,
horrible.
wow.
The day that Margaret goes missing,
Dude, the mom sold him out bad, dude. I mean, good. He's a piece of shit, but I'm just saying his mom sold him out badly, dude. Holy shit.
there's increased police presence in the area. They just found Margaret's body like a day later, but nobody knows
Right.
that
I want him to be caught, just objectively speaking.
she's been killed or anything. To the public, there's just
Yeesh.
more police. That day, Gavin's mom texts him, they're looking for someone. He responds, well, that's Wadsworth for ya. Then he immediately Googles Wadsworth police reports. Margaret Douglas dead. Margaret Douglas, Wadsworth, Ohio. Body found in Wadsworth, Ohio. Latest update on Wadsworth murder. Then deletes the search
That
history.
is crazy.
Of course.
At the time of the search, again, it's not public information that she passed away or that she was murdered. She's 98. One would assume that she was not murdered.
Yeah.
One quick search for passwords shows two interesting ones. The first being
Oh, right. He's searching murdered stuff, and it wasn't even public knowledge yet that she was murdered. Holy shit. So when I had jury duty, also another case we had to watch was a murder. I'm not gonna legally I can't speak about it a lot, but they did the same thing. They used the same program to like run the person's phone and all that stuff. Dude, the search history was like how much time until decay takes place, how to hide a body, them searching like this person's last name's mother's maiden name. Like I guess they can get into their bank account and stuff like that. Dude, same exact thing. Fucking crazy. Where to hide a body, blah 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 blah.
Gavin had set up a password to an account, and the password is I like kids.
Whoa.
So that's great. Then the next
Do you guys ever hear about the what's that band, dude? Oh god, what was that band? They had the song like "Last Train Home." Lost Prophets, dude. You guys aren't gonna love this, but I don't have a censor beep here, or I would use it. But the lead singer for Lost Prophets, that band, like an emo band from back in the day, he got caught for like child porn and all this stuff, and his password to his computer was it was like "I fuck kids" like 93 or something like that. Yep.
password of interest. Gavin
Mhm.
had this locked
Yeah, it was literally like "I fuck kids" was his password to his fucking computer, which they were searching to get child band. I love that band. Oh, they make great music. I like Lost Prophets a lot too. That guy's in super jail.
folder on his phone filled with media files. So videos, pictures, live photos.
People
it's
are
an
very
iPhone.
dumb.
And the folder name is Dark.
Dark.
And the password to that is murder.
Holy
Inside
shit.
the folder, a bunch of media files. The first video is of Margaret asleep in her living room.
Oh my god.
And they're recording from inside the house. It's not through the window. She's laying on the couch. She's clearly alive.
Dude, they have the last footage. She has the footage. Holy shit, dude. Holy shit. Oh boy.
She briefly moves her hand to scratch her face.
Did you see the?
This one there is, it's in the case files that I received from the police department, but obviously the other
Does it
ones
really
are
gets heavy? Yeah, okay, yeah, I can tell.
Then there's a live photo of Margaret lying down on her side. Her right eye is partially open. Her mouth is open, and there is blood on her tongue and lips.
Oh my god.
She is not moving in the second long live photo. On her neck, there's a gloved hand holding onto her throat. She is dead. Then another live photo, this time of Margaret laying on her back. She has been posed in a sexual manner, and the description reads, in the picture, Margaret's nightgown is open and her bra is pushed up to her neck. The back of a clear plastic gloved left hand is seen pushing against the left side of her breast. Her mouth is open and shows fresh injuries to her face.
Oh my god.
So someone is touching her chest and posing her sexually. The next photo appears to focus on her right breast. Then the next video is about 16 seconds long, and it shows Gavin using Margaret's deceased hand with purple blackberry jam on there to pleasure his private parts. So he's taking Margaret's hand.
Dude, this is heavy as fuck. Bro.
Covering it in jelly and then using it on his private area. And near the end of the 16-second video, he inserts a digit into Margaret's body parts. A finger. Then another photo, this time Margaret's position so that the focus of the photo is on her lower private parts. Then another, a plastic gloved hand is holding onto her bottom. After killing Margaret, Gavin stayed in her house from 2:09 a.m. to 4:10 a.m. to perform these necrophilia acts.
2 hours.
He does not fully essay her corpse, but this would still be considered necrophilia. In most of the files in the folder, Margaret is either nude or partially
surprised
nude,
he
and you
didn't
can see the
go all
gloves
out,
that
to be
Gavin was
honest.
wearing that night. There is no video of him actually killing Margaret because it's likely he had to use both hands to strangle her.
Right.
Medical evidence indicates that it would have taken her several minutes to die.
Oh,
He killed someone that is 81 years older than him, a 98-year-old woman. She made it through 98 years, and it's the teenager down the street to
98.
engage in necrophilia acts and document the whole thing? Why? The police rush to arrest Gavin in his house, and the officer asks him, "Did you know I'd be coming to see you after we got your phone?" I figured. As soon as I heard the knock on the door, I honestly, if my boots were tied, I think I would have ran. Once they bring him into the same interrogation room, this time he's much more distraught. So his first interrogation was like a week before. And now he's brought back in because they go through his phone and it's all connected.
Wait, so
Bro, the fact that they got this kid based off the stupid carjacking thing, like he would have been in the clear. That's so crazy, dude. Based off the fucking dumb carjacking bullshit. It's fucking crazy, man.
so the first time interviewing, they didn't know what he did,
No.
but this time they
know.
came for that. Now, where was the mother when the door was knocking? Like when they came for him?
She was in the house. She knows it's pertaining to Margaret. She doesn't know what they found on his phone. And this interrogation, she's not in the room. She's in the lobby.
Okay, so she has some suspicion.
Some clue. But I don't think she understood it's going to be necrophilia. abuse of a corpse.
Right.
Maybe she is trying to justify like some sort of crazy thing in her head.
Yeah.
And he's in the interrogation room. He can't even sit still. He's crying. He goes from sitting on the chair to rocking back and forth to full on laying on the ground in a fetal position. The female detective comes up and puts her hand on his back to soothe him. It's an interrogation technique.
They probably would have got him from the test with the jam. Yeah, but he had gloves on for everything. They keep mentioning a plastic glove that he had, you know? So maybe not.
I'm upset. That's what Gavin says. I know. Telling me about it isn't going to give you much relief. It doesn't change the fact that I ruined my life.
Oh.
He's on his back on the ground crying. We can't go back and change that, Gavin. I know. At this point, we just have to figure out what's going on with you, okay?
Ryan looks good with, oops. Ryan looks good with the uniform. He does look good with the uniform, right? Officer Ryan.
Margaret's nightgown is open at Margaret's house, except when he went to kill her. He thought he was going... He's on his back on the ground crying. We can't go back and change that, Gavin. I know. At this point, we just have to figure out what's going on with you, okay? And you didn't take anything from Margaret's house, right? Like I said before, it doesn't make a difference either way. I mean, what other crime could I commit that would really matter at this point?
Right.
Which, side note, I do see people upset that the female detective is showing him so much quote-unquote grace.
No,
but I think in this
that's
case,
what
she's
you
just doing
do.
her job. She's
Yeah,
getting a
yeah.
confession regardless of the evidence.
Yep.
The confession is more likely to get a just verdict from the jury. To hear someone, especially a minor, say what they did, how they did it, and why they did it, that's almost always going to help the victim's case.
Right.
That's what the officer is trying to do here.
You're not screaming at him
During
like,
the
you
interrogation,
monster.
the audio is quite difficult to hear, and it's not
You're being
particularly
empathetic.
insightful. The only time Gavin gets emotional is, again, when
I
he
wouldn't wanna touch
realizes
him
what
knowing
kind
what
of
he
trouble
did.
he's going to be in. He tells authorities that he's never been inside Margaret's house except when he went to kill her. He thought he was going out that night to go through some unlocked cars, but instead, he saw Margaret sleeping through her home window. He tries her back door, it was unlocked. He says if it was locked, he wouldn't have gone in. He walks in, records her sleeping, but as he was getting closer, he tripped on the chair and she woke up screaming. He claims he didn't know what to do, but he saw Margaret reach for her phone, so he strangled her. And she knows him. She knows that's the kid 5 houses down. He killed her. And then he proceeded to stay for the next few hours committing acts of necrophilia. You see how none of that adds up?
And recording
He
it.
says it's a crime of passion, but suddenly an opportunity to engage in some of the most depraved acts on the planet. They ask, have you talked to Margaret before? I mean, I think we discussed this a couple of times, but just this one time when I was 13 or 14, I was going to shovel driveways and stuff, you know, when I was actually doing something good with my life.
So when she died, was she on the couch or on the floor?
Floor.
Were you on top of her then?
Kind of.
Like straddling her?
Yeah.
And did you use one hand or both?
Both.
Did you
That's why I was
squeeze
recording.
it or push her against the floor or both?
Both.
And you said you don't remember if she was bleeding at that point.
The only reason I can think of bleeding is when I put my hand over her mouth.
Fuck, man.
So when you were holding her hand over her mouth, you might have pushed too hard and maybe made her nose bleed.
Yeah.
Were you in her house for a little while before you woke her up? Like I came up into the porch and I didn't even know what I was going to do. And I looked in the window and everything. I don't know. I just felt like going into the house. It was like the biggest adrenaline rush I could get, I guess. So then I tried the doorknob and that just happened to be unlocked. He talks about after killing Margaret, he shoved Margaret's body into the closet all by himself and, quote, he's stronger than he looks.
So earlier you said that he applied to work at
A funeral home.
a funeral home. Was he working there already or he applied?
He applied, but they did not hire him.
When
Thank
did he
God,
apply?
dude.
Before this killing or
Yeah.
Right, if it wasn't Margaret, it would have been somebody else, man. Oh my God. Dude. I don't like the possibilities within the arrested or maldevelopment of the human organ of cognitive functions and consciousness. You're too smart for me to respond to that.
before?
Before.
Okay, that says a lot, right?
A little while before. The police ask him, that night you were at Margaret's, have you drank or smoked anything, done any drugs that night? No, that I was actually sober that night.
Actually?
Which
Sober?
is another reason why I smoke and drink, because I can't handle myself when I'm sober. I can't comprehend. I don't even know how the word goes. My thoughts when I'm sober are dark. When I'm high, they're like good thoughts. Have you ever thought about harming anyone before or taking someone's life before?
For sure.
Not like planning it out, but like, oh, I'm so mad I could kill someone right now, like that kind of thing. But you never imagined yourself actually doing it. No, I could never envision myself. I mean, I've wondered what killing someone would feel like, but I've also wondered what jumping off a building would feel like, so it's not like anything was premeditated.
Me
Gavin
too.
explains that he has thoughts of self-exiting, but he never could do it because it was too evil for his family. His mom would not be able to handle it. Gavin would even...
Debatably, I think him jumping off a building, him killing himself might have been less harsh on his mom than finding out that what he did.
text his best friend, Braden, about these thoughts and feelings about life. The text would read, I've been doing some light research, and I'm not saying that I have this or whatever, but this is an actual disorder, pretty much caused by wires in your brain being wired the wrong way, if that makes sense. Hopefully it's not like that, but I guess I don't really care if it is or not. I believe every person is made the way they are for a reason, whether they're as pure as God or as evil as the devil. It's who they're supposed to be. I think it's like that, so that there's a balance between good and bad in the world.
But what did he say? How is his brain wired? Did he say
He
that?
never describes, but he thinks he's pure evil.
Oh.
Gavin tells authorities that he spends every
He
day
might not be
getting high
wrong.
on weed, stimulants, drinking a fifth of alcohol per day. That's about 17 shots of hard liquor per day. That's a fifth of alcohol. He says his biggest obsession, though, I will tell you the symptoms, you tell me what drugs this is. When this drug kicks in, it's a sense of euphoria. It almost
Ecstasy.
feels like you have increased energy and strength. It feels like you could probably lift a
Meth?
car. If you
Meth?
get punched in the face, you might not even feel the pain until way later.
Ecstasy, meth, or PCP.
You feel practically invincible. You feel like a rush. Do you know what drug that is?
Ecstasy, meth, or PCP.
Alcohol?
Adrenaline. Gavin says he's addicted to adrenaline.
Whoa.
He
Damn,
says
Ciro.
the adrenaline is the only thing that makes me feel like I'm even alive.
How did you get that?
Did you go into the house initially just to steal something? Honestly, all I did was I just wanted the adrenaline rush. Oh, just going into the house? Yeah, I think that's why I broke into cars and stuff. It's that risk factor. All I've ever done is take risks because that's the only thing that makes me feel... So that's your drug, adrenaline? Yeah, I don't know. Like nothing feels wrong with me when I have adrenaline. It's like everything's all right.
Dude.
You feel alive, like there's meaning, right? I don't know about meaning, but it feels different. Like I don't know how to explain it.
He's telling the cops that.
Yeah. Any bad stuff about you goes away? I guess. So your whole intention of going into the house was just the adrenaline
Yeah, go
of being in
skydiving.
somebody's house?
There's a million things you could do.
Yeah, I didn't want to rob the house. Okay, so it's just the sneaky thrill of can I get into somebody's house and get out and get away with it? Yeah, but if the door was locked, I would have just walked away. The whole breaking into the house was the adrenaline part.
Your
I think I
skydiving
didn't
is
even have a
crazy.
grip on reality. Whenever I did that, I didn't even know whose house it was at first until... As for his motive, he claims his whole motive was adrenaline. And then Margaret woke up and he felt panicked. He had to kill her. But then why did he commit the acts of necrophilia? He says it's not even like that.
Is this like the first time we ever heard somebody talk about adrenaline
Yeah,
in
it's...
this type of scenario?
Yes. In this scenario, yes. Typically, you will hear adrenaline in serial killers. It's... Yeah.
They're kind of addicted to that too.
Yes. I mean, I think that a lot of people are addicted to adrenaline, and that's why you have people who are heavily invested in skydiving all the time, or they're chasing certain
Skydiving,
thrills.
there you
It's just
go.
varying degrees of addiction. This seems more of like the serial killer addiction to the thrill aspect. I think it's tied to the fact that they're doing something that they shouldn't do, and they get off on that. But he's very angry when the acts of necrophilia are even brought up. He's angry about being accused of this whole crime committed for the purpose of SA, but he can't explain anything further.
What do you
Like, he
mean?
can't explain why it makes him so angry or anything else. And I don't know if this
Maybe
has
because
anything
he
to do
can't
with
help it.
adrenaline, but it does later come out to the authorities that Gavin would chase his siblings around with knives when he was younger. He'd be like 10 years old chasing them around with a knife. Regardless, he keeps stating it's adrenaline. Adrenaline is why he committed the crime.
My little sister pulled a knife on me when we were like kids. I was probably like 16, 15, and she was probably like 9 or 10. And she's like the most well-adjusted fucking person I have in my... Yeah, but she's like totally normal. She's like super normie, married, like has a good house, like totally normal. What do you mean? I don't think whatever. I'm doing my nails. Very nice. I love rock climbing and adrenaline. Does that make me a serial killer? If you were also into fucking dead bodies, maybe.
And the officers are not convinced. They tell him, we know that you were wearing gloves. And we found one of the
Right.
gloves that you were wearing, and there was purple stuff on it. They ask him, what was the purple stuff that was on it? Gavin looks very embarrassed.
Oh,
The
he's still
officers
trying to pretend
already
that
know what the purple
he's not
stuff
the
is.
one. Ugh.
The officer pushes. I get it. There's like this whole piece of this that you don't understand why you do, okay? But the purple stuff, it's the whole sexual piece. No? The purple stuff was that jelly. I don't even know where it came into play. Did you maybe use it as some kind of lubricant for something? Is this the part that you're just embarrassed in your own mind? You know what I mean? None of this is okay. Gavin is saying that. Well, I'm saying we understand that it's an embarrassing part. We're not sure if it's you don't understand or if it's just embarrassing. It's something that I don't understand, I guess. You didn't have any sex with her, did you? He shakes his head no. But you put the jelly on the glove, and is that when you used her hand to rub your private parts? He covers his face.
Jesus.
Yeah. Was it at the same time that you were taking some of those pictures? Yeah. Like what is this? That's when the shock set in? Yeah, it's like, what am I doing? There's a couple of videos of you peeking over the edge of the couch and videotaping her. When was all of that done? That was the same night.
Why did I lie?
Yeah, she's
about
awake
anything
in
that
some
was
in the first
true?
videos.
Throughout the interrogation, he claims multiple times that he never took Margaret's red wallet that's missing. It is later found in his drawer, shoved next to a bottle of Hollister cologne that he stole.
Oh yeah, this recently I've become really conscious about the possibility of some factory workers sticking their stick in packaged food and setting it before setting it for the shelves. This fear came from a release of a influencer's makeup brand, and someone found condensation from a dick print. Oh. People have videos where they open things, add bodily fluid in it, and reseal it like nothing happened. Yeah, there was, remember that girl who was like coughing or spitting on like or licking like fruit during COVID, and then recently, oh yeah, the ice cream, right? She was opening the ice cream and licking it and putting it back during COVID. She got arrested. Recently, somebody got in trouble. He was spraying bug spray on like all the food in like the grocery store and put it on TikTok and got arrested. What are you doing? I also used to vape. I don't vape anymore, but there was videos of like the people who used to make the vapes that I used to use, like testing the vapes by testing them and then putting them in the box. Like literally like, what the fuck is the USA? I mean, a lot of these true crime, it's not just the USA, dude. Come on now. Come on, bro. If you want to talk about school shootings, I'm ready to go. We can talk all day, but this shit happens everywhere. Not to mention like the vape thing wasn't the USA. That came from like whatever country was making the vapes and sending them over here. It's not just the USA, bro.
From another grinder carjacking. It appears he took Margaret's wallet and those photos and videos of her as some sort of trophy. The police talked to Gavin's friends.
The
they
USA,
talked to
people are
Matt.
really high probability of not being mentally there. I know it's like super easy to like shit on like the USA for everything, but like this shit happens all over the place. Like we have shootings a lot because we have guns. Like, yeah, bad, right? I guess. I mean, shootings are bad. Yes, guns. I don't think are whatever. But you go to like Europe, they just have stabbings. People will kill people regardless. People have the same fucking wired brains, dude. Like, but to answer the stereotype of the USA specifically, yeah, I don't know. It's easy to just shit on the USA for everything. And we do a lot of crazy shit, but the shit happens all over the place, dude.
This is a fake name. This is Gavin's on and off girlfriend. And she's sitting there confused. And she's explaining this whole situation where she was sitting with a girlfriend of hers.
No,
Let's
it
call
wasn't
her
Mary
Rachel.
Jane vapes.
And
It
Rachel
was like
was
Lord
telling
vapes.
her what
I
Gavin
don't
said
smoke
about
weed.
her. Rachel is like, hey, your boyfriend said this about you. And she's like, who even says that? Rachel is explaining, remember that night we went to the movies? Well, while we were at the movies, Gavin, I don't recall if you went to the restroom or you went to go grab popcorn, but Gavin was talking about how he wouldn't even care if someone came in and held a gun up to your head. He said, quote, if someone came in here and pointed a gun at Maddie's head right now, I wouldn't do anything. I would not do anything. I would just watch. Maddie and Rachel are like, what does that even mean? What is going on with this guy? I mean, nobody's expecting a 17-year-old to suddenly become a Navy SEAL, but also you're not going to do anything. Why are you even telling someone
Yeah,
this?
why even say it?
The way Maddie describes it to the police is, Gavin seemed like he was finally getting better with his life, but for whatever reason unclear to everyone else, he got swept up in the wrong path. That's how she describes it. She would go at 3 a.m. to check his Snapchat location on the phone, because you can share it with friends. He'd be out breaking curfew. He'd be in the middle of nowhere at 3 a.m. Gavin and Maddie had known each other since they were in the first grade, but recently started
How much of this falls on the parents, you think? Not like the ultimate thing that he did, but like the rest of everything that happened, like the parents gotta be to blame for some of this shit, huh?
dating. And she just tells
His
police
mom is
there's
weird.
just so much more to it. She says, quote, we're all in this group chat and Gavin said once that he could kill someone and not feel anything, but he wasn't gonna kill someone because he knew that it was wrong. Maddie says that she was speechless, but she thought maybe it's a joke.
He's like a
She texts
he's a
him back, he would never
psychopath,
do
dude.
that. He says, yeah, I know. Which, okay, maybe he's just trying to be edgy. That's what she thought.
Right.
But then Gavin's coworker,
Kids
Hillary,
say dumb
another
shit all the
fake name
time.
from the pizza shop, she says Gavin would always tell her at work that he's never actually happy, that he just is faking it, when in fact he feels empty on the inside. He would tell her about his plans to catfish people on the internet. He wanted to catfish someone for the sole purpose of meeting up with them so that he could hurt them.
Whoa.
The police ask, was he ever abusive or violent towards animals? Not that I know of. But when news
Yeah,
broke
it's
of
always
that
like the
98-year-old
first
woman
sign.
being found dead, it just had a sneaking suspicion.
Wow. Especially being 5 houses down from him. I feel like I hear stuff about like that sometimes. I work at a Subway next to a high school, and I hear a lot of sick things from some kids. I don't know if it's because kids are very open and strange or what is concerning, but it ain't my business. I just know I'd never be friends with people like that. Yeah, you know, when you're that age, you're looking to make a stir. You're looking to stand out. You say like a lot of edgy, weird shit. I'm sure me and my friends said, I don't know about saying that, but like we said like dumb, fucked up shit too. You know what I mean? Especially like time that I went to high school, but not like that. Not that. I shouldn't have chanced it with that one Uber. I had him hired for a month for a personal chauffeur, and near the end, before he quit, I don't know you could order Uber for a month. He was saying weird stuff like his friend who's moving should just oof their dogs if they can't bring them, or muttering fuck zero under their breath. Whoa. Yo, that is really scary. They do say dumb stuff, so it's hard to tell what's serious. Yeah, kids just be saying shit, dude. Kids want to impress their friends, you know what I mean? But then some shit like that's why like sometimes it's like, oh, were there signs? It's like, yeah, there were signs, but like there's always signs, dude. Kids do and say just weird shit. My DoorDasher tried to get inside my house. What? Stop. Really? That's fucking scary. I don't use those apps anymore. Whoa. Like, okay, I only ever do like leave at the door. But like, yeah, of course. Holy shit. I'm here. I have my uniform on. Not to make light of your situation, but holy shit.
Why?
I'm sorry to hear that.
Hillary shows
Fuck,
the
that's so
investigators a
scary.
Snapchat message between them where she asks Gavin if he's
That's another reason why I think it's always good to do leave at the door. I'm sure you probably did, and maybe they like hit around the corner or something like that. I'm not saying that's not what you did. I'm sure that's probably what you did. There's no reason to like get the food, but like it's also better like that way because like they don't see you. You don't want somebody knowing where you live. Like some crazy person's a DoorDasher that you open a door and it's now they're like, oh, this is a pretty girl or a pretty guy or whatever. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna come back later for them. Now I know where they live. Like fuck that, dude. Fucking hell.
okay. She says, quote, what's the matter? He responds, NUN, I guess nothing. It's cool. I don't know. I just get some really f***ed up thoughts like about murdering people and it doesn't bother me. And I watched one of those self-exit videos on YouTube and I laughed. And I'm pretty sure I
I
could
watch
kill
who the
someone
people
in
to
cold
their
blood
live.
and
Yeah,
not
me
feel
too.
guilty or
Oh, I
sad
watch
or
on my
anything
Ring
about
camera
it.
until
I
they
honestly
leave.
have
And
two
then I look out my
emotions,
window
and they're
because my window
angry
is the
or
front
laughing,
street.
and I'm
You see
never
when
really
they leave.
happy. I'm just
And
faking
I'm not
it.
like
I don't
I'm
even
not like
get
a small
sad
girl,
anymore.
you know.
I literally don't care
But
about
still.
anything whatsoever. Other small
Bro, is there anything more stressful in life? Is there anything more stressful in life than what? Guagua? A dude was fingering himself next to me on the wait. A dude was fingering himself. Wait, like in his BH? Is there anything more stressful than when like the DoorDasher that you say leave at the door rings the doorbell or like knocks on the door and just waits there? Oh, nothing worse. Nothing worse in life. I swear to God. Dude, one DoorDasher dropped my food, waited 5 minutes for me to come out. I came out and they tried pretending to just get in their car just to try to manipulate me into giving them a tip for $1, which was actually bait for giving. Dude, fuck that, dude. What the fuck?
Things that the police learned about Gavin, it's pretty clear that he has a strange relationship with his parents.
Right.
One
If I say
friend
leave it at the
claims
door,
that
leave it at
Gavin
the
and his
fucking
dad
door.
got into a really bad fight once.
That's
and
why I have my ring. I'd be like, I'll either text on the app, like, yeah, it's fine, just leave it, or on the ring finally after 10 tries. I'll just wait to see if they just leave. And then after like 10 tries, I'll be like, okay. Like, I had one recently. It was like, it had snowed out, but I live in a condo. So I don't live like, I don't own the sidewalk. Like, I'm not gonna get sued for not shoveling or something. So like the lady came and was like, she would not leave my fucking front door with the food. And I like went on the thing and I'm like, you can go. She's like, no, like, I gotta talk to you. She's like, I fell. Like, it was icy outside. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Just leave my food there. She's like, yeah, but I fell down. I'm like, are you injured? She's like, I don't know. I fell down. And I was like, well, I don't know. I literally was like, I don't know what you want me to do about that. Like, you're not suing me. Get the fuck away from my house. Like, yeah, go to the hospital then. You're not getting money out of me. I don't know what you think this is. Get away from me. Like, because if you have a house and you do that, you can get sued for that. But I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't want to look at the condo. Like, get the fuck out of here. I lived in an apartment where the doors to the building are locked. It was snowing outside and I didn't want to leave it there. I was streaming and wouldn't have seen of course, the notification until they called. I just went to grab it. He kept complimenting me in a weird way and asking for my number. Stopped it. No. When I said goodnight, he just stood there. So I ran back to my apartment and locked the door. Behind me, he tried calling me through the door. What? And entering my apartment. Needless to say, it was a terrible stream. I'm so sorry to hear that, Caddy. Holy shit. High floors, Paro. I do have high. I am on a. Yeah, I'm one of the first. Okay, I'm not explaining all that. We have a dog at the house, so everyone will knock instead of leaving it and just sit there and wait. And it's like, bro, I have a dog. He might not be friendly with your faces. He's a friendly dog, but that's always me saying to them, and they always are quick to leave. I have like a sticker on my door. It says like, in case of fire, like save our dog. I don't have a dog. It was from the last tenant, and I just never took it off. But I have cats, so at least like if there's a fire, maybe they'll at least try to find the cats. So I leave it up. And maybe it like stops anyone from like, you know what I mean, who would like think of like doing something.
Gavin to choke himself out. I don't know if he was trying to do it in spite of his dad to scare him, to make him feel guilty, or if he was in distress, or both, but it's alarming. A few of the friends do remember Gavin posting a Snapchat, taking a picture out of his bedroom window and showing all the cop cars out on the neighborhood streets. And some of them even messaged Gavin saying, whoa, that's crazy. Speaking of Snapchat, one of his friends says, quote, he always seemed happy at school, but then on Snapchat, he would just seem so mad. During the search on Gavin's home, police come across a 70-page notebook, like the ones that they make you buy at the beginning of every school year. It's bright purple. They find it under his bed. The first few pages are research papers into 2 notorious serial killers.
I'm fine now. I had a friend who called to check up on me. Yeah, but like that's not the point, right? Like that's gonna. I'm glad you're good, but like now you have to be afraid of like that kind of thing forever. Like, cause some fucking creep, dude. This is the same reason why I don't go up to the cute tattooed girl when I'm shopping in Target and be like, hey, what's up? I just don't want to bother women, dude. I got sisters, I've had girlfriends, I have a mom, obviously. Like, I don't want to bother anybody. I know like women are sometimes just scared to be in public because of other creeps. I don't ever want to bother anybody. So everyone's always like, oh, just take a chance. But I just never want to bother a woman. I know they got their own shit going on. I just don't want to, you know?
Donald.
Power's a real one. Yeah, that's why I'm going to die alone. You know what I mean? But that's why I just don't ever, just don't want to bother anybody. And also, I'm just a scaredy cat. But also, I just don't like, I'm a scaredy cat because I don't want to like bother somebody.
Gaskins and Ted Bundy. The more notable being Ted Bundy, considering he too engaged in heavy acts of necrophilia. But then when you flip the pages, these serial killer biographies slowly morph into horror movie skit ideas, none of which are good. One page reads, skit ideas, horror at the factory, introduction, Braden, his best friend, is playing at the park and I am a murderer and I'm plotting on how to kill him. Then he notices me watching him from a distance. So he stops playing, looks at me, then I start walking towards him so he runs into the woods. The end. Finale, critical acclaim, and Oscar. I don't know what he's thinking. The next page reads, skit ideas. It
The
looks
kid's
like
a-
a page
yeah,
from
the
a
kid is absolutely a
brainstorming
fucking
session.
psycho.
Serial killer taking person into the woods. Interactive horror story. Hunted for $1,000. Horror at the factory. Scene
Interactive.
setting, different outcomes and scenarios.
It's a
A
factory
series.
again.
I will say there does seem to be some sort of fascination into his best friend Braden. He writes 3 potential mini-sode series.
Yeah, isn't that
which
weird? It's always Braden.
I do not believe will be picked up by any network anytime soon. Episode 1 is written. Braden comes back from college, travel, running away, etc. We decide to go on a hike and catch up and bond at the old spot we went to as kids, Silver Creek. As we're walking, we get into a heated conversation about Braden leaving and going away, which leaves me at home with a shitty home life and abusive drunk dad. And as we're yelling at each other, I lose my footing and realistically fall down the cliff.
That's true. Where's
Episode 2
where's
opens
his
back
dad
up on the
ever?
cliffhanger.
It's always his
Literally,
mom.
it reads, Braden frantically rushes down the cliff
Braden's
to
his
come help
friend.
me
He's
and
always
show me that he
murdering
will
Braden.
always be my big brother and that he will always be there for me and never leave me. Once he reaches the bottom, we have a heart-to-heart talk and then he starts to help me up. In episode 3, as they're making their way back up the hill, Braden falls and gets more serious injuries than Gavin, so they're both injured and both their phones are broken. That's it. It's not the most riveting stuff. But the journal becomes more pertinent to investigators when those skit ideas start morphing into a diary. Gavin is journaling. This has been shortened, but his first journal entry reads, "This writing thing is new to me, so I'm going to give this my best shot. I hate being at home. I hate being downstairs with my family because a lot of the time I feel like I don't really belong here. If I'm at home, I prefer to just be alone in my room. I feel like I don't belong anywhere. I can contain my thoughts and urges most days, but sometimes I just want to fucking go off on someone and beat them until they're not breathing anymore. It's not even for attention or anything. I honestly want to take someone's life. I want to know what that would feel like. What
It's
it would
not
feel like
Christian.
to stand over some dead
Christian
body.
loved his
I don't feel
family.
empathy or sympathy for anybody. Like, I just don't give a shit,
too much.
and I want to know why. Like, I wouldn't feel bad if I killed someone, but I don't want to fucking sit in prison. Like, that would suck. I really need to stop drinking, but it drowns out the pain, so I probably won't stop." His next journal entry reads, "All right, so I'm back, and man, do I have some to say. Today I'm listening to I'm Sorry by Joyner Lucas, which, side note, is a really painful song about self-exit and how it affects family members after a loved one is gone. Viewer discretion is advised. It was very emotionally rough, but insightful, but just be careful going into it. Very beautifully done, though. Anyway, Gavin writes,
I
"It
don't know
really
that
makes
song.
me get in my feels. After I listened to that, I went and hit the punching bag and really needed to let it out. A lot of built up rage and anger. I f***ed up my hands, but I knocked the bag completely off the chain it was hanging from, and it felt good to have that kind of power. I think if counseling doesn't help me, I'm honestly just gonna kill someone. Like, I'm not just saying that. I'll probably take a girl out into the woods, R-word her, and kill her. I wouldn't even feel bad about it, but I
Holy
know it's
shit.
wrong. I think I'm a depressed sociopath, to be honest.
He's definitely
I
a
don't care
sociopath.
about 99% of things. The only things I truly care about are my friends and my close family." While Gavin is confessing to murder, both of his parents, mom and dad, are sitting outside in the lobby of the police station. The authorities inform them that they have some news and updates to share, but they need to conduct another search on the house, and it would be best if nobody was home. Gavin's mom calls her other kids. "Hey, honey, listen, this is going to be a weird request, but I need you to take your brothers and take them out of the house right now." "Why?" "I'll explain later. Maybe go to Uncle David's and just hang there, and we will call you when you can come home." "Is everything all right, Mom?" "No, everything is not all right, but don't tell your brothers right now." After they get out of the house, the two parents are waiting for the police to finally tell them what's going on, and the female officer tells him, "The mobile phone contained images of Margaret before and after her death, as well as videos of your son.
Oh, is that her dad?
Both
Yep.
of them have a physical reaction. It's not an extreme reaction, at least not visibly, but they seem shaken. Gavin's mom is the first to talk.
Engaging in sex with her. Was she still alive when he was doing that? I don't like, oh my God.
Both of them cover their mouths with their hands. And honestly,
Dude,
Gavin's dad
parents'
seems
worst
to be hit the
fucking
hardest.
nightmare, man.
He's grabbing the wall. He looks lost. He doesn't even know what to do with himself, where his mom keeps going. "This isn't
No,
happening.
zoom
This
out.
isn't real. I want you to know that I spoke to the director of the juvenile detention facility. I explained the situation. I explained that Gavin is highly emotionally distraught. I asked him to put him on self-exit watch." Okay. "I asked him to keep him under 24/7 observation. I know this is an emotionally devastating situation." Gavin's mom is nodding. It's unclear if she's just going into mom mode, trying to pay attention and think for her son, or if she's in shock. I don't
If I had to guess, he's a psychopath. A sociopath is a traumatized person who shut emotions off to others because of an incident. A psychopath is just born a psycho. Right. Okay. True. I always never know the difference. I know what psychopath means, but I'm not 100% sure what a sociopath means. At least from what I remember from my medical class. Yeah, I know psychopath. The dad is so sweet. I feel so bad. Yeah, I mean, he did write that he's like a drunk, abusive dad, but that was in one of his skits. I don't know if that was real or not. Seems like a blue collar guy. He's wearing that like yellow vest.
Don't know. But the dad is very distraught. He's sitting down, he's shaking, and
Yeah, maybe not, man.
a male
Fuck.
cop says, It's a horrible set of circumstances. You deserve to know that he will be tried as an adult." The dad starts crying eventually.
At 98 years old, just living out her days. And here's my son. My son.
Sorry, I need a second, dude. That got me like. That got me a little teary eyed, dude. Fucking hey, man. That's. Whew, boy, dude. I'm crying now, man. That's rough, man. Hey, I cried today for the first time in a long time. You know what made me cry? It was like episode 8 of Dan and Dan. Have you guys watched Dan and Dan? I'm not caught up. Don't. I have 2 more episodes left to watch. But like the backstory of like the one with the long hair or whatever. Ooh, don't spoil it. I have 2 more episodes left. But yeah. That episode was insane. That was one of the best like pieces of anime episode or whatever I've seen in maybe ever. You know what I mean? For being such like a goofy, fun show, that episode made me cry. Dude, it made me cry too. I never cry. Dude. And that got me good, dude. And then I texted my friend who's like me, who doesn't, and he was like, "Yo, like I cried when I watched it. I'm not gonna lie." I'm like, "Dude, I cried too." Yeah. I don't want to like spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but like, whew, dude, that was a tough one, man. I'm glad, without spoiling, I'm glad she kind of still gets to be part of the show a little bit. You know what I mean? Without spoiling too much. I'm glad it's not just over. You find out the next episode. I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm glad it's not like she's just gone, forgotten, kind of. You know?
My mother, all these people out here, and it's my son.
Yeah, it made me very happy to
Eventually, the
see.
interaction ends.
They're
with
not
the mom
completely
asking
around,
the
but at least you get a
officer,
little something.
Kevin
So
understands he's going to prison, probably for us.
Everyone who knows Margaret says,
poor dad.
she's not what you think when you envision a 98-year-old woman. She was strong. She was fierce. She was born in 1919.
Wow.
This took place in 2018. She was a few months away from turning 99. She lived through the Second World War, the moon landing. I mean, she just seemed so excited to live out the rest of her days. She would tell her family she just wants to hit 100, because why not? You know?
Wow.
And we don't know too much about Margaret, but in almost every picture of her that I've seen, regardless of her age, there's always a dog.
I'm proud of
There's
you for
always a dog.
crying. It was so sad, dude. It got me so good. That was rough, man. Like I said, it catches you so off guard. Like, oh, this fun is dun, right? It's so much fun. It's blah, blah, blah. And then, oof, dude, that got me, dude. I was on my treadmill. I was walking on my treadmill. Walk. And that was happening, dude. I was like, holy shit, dude. I was like, oh, you know, not like weeping, you know what I mean? But like pretty good, more than it ever gets me. I'm never like, like never, ever. I wish I could. I can't. But more than I've been in a long time.
Nearby, and she's a big
Hi,
gardener.
Raven.
She lived in that house.
Yeah, this is
tended
really
to it
sad,
for
this
the
one.
past 50 years. Someone who once knew Margaret says, "When I was a little girl, this woman would actually babysit me."
Yeah, when it hits just
Now
the right spot,
I'm in my
100%,
80s
man.
thinking about her. The crafts and games that she would play with me, and on my 5th birthday, my family and I moved away and I never saw her again. Just finding out about her death, I feel like it's too late to help, but she's with God now. I love her and I miss her forever. According to everyone that knew Margaret, she was just very independent. She handled her own finances. Her husband had passed. She didn't want to move. She wanted to live in this house that she had created this whole life with him forever. And that was her dream. And then she gets murdered by a 17-year-old kid.
Jesus Christ.
Back in the interrogation room, the officer confronts Gavin with the belief that she believes if he had not been caught, Gavin would have gone on to kill more people. Because even after
Melody,
Gavin
hi.
kills Margaret, he says he didn't really feel different. He said, I didn't really feel like anything had changed or had happened.
I'm also proud of you for crying. I had an ex who could watch Made in Abyss with a straight face and tell me it's his favorite anime. It's such a red flag. I'm crying. Made in Abyss is very good. I don't know if that made me cry. I went through a long time without being able to even like cry or anything like that. There's probably story or trauma or stuff, reasons for that, but yeah. I'm just glad I'm not crying alone. It's bittersweet. Sad we are crying, but glad we understand. Yeah, Melody. Hi. Also, welcome in first time chatter. Banana Fish. I know of Banana Fish. I never watched it. Oh, you know what? I think Your Name. I think got me a little bit. No, not Your Name. Weathering with You. I think got me a little bit. I think I'm not somebody who like typically like notices like sound design, but I saw Weathering with You in the theaters, and the sound design was so beautiful. The way they remixed the theme song into like so many different ways, like so many different to show different emotions, and yeah, well, for Weathering with You, yeah, the sound design is like yeah. The movie is great, but I just like in theater, like the for me to like pick up on like all the little things they do with the music, like the smart ways they do it and the beautiful ways they do it. And it's all like it's like 3 songs, 2 or 3 songs. Because I have even the playlist on Spotify, and like it's all basically the same song in different like remixes. Sometimes it's like glitchy kind of, which obviously I like, and like different, but like to show like different parts of the movie. I was like, this is fucking beautiful. I watched Weathering with You in cinemas and I bawled my eyes out. Yeah, I saw it in theater also. My boyfriend and I have unfinished series because we both cry. He tries to hide it and I just do it quietly. Seems like you got to keep her though, if you can show that. No, I don't know Bubble.
I really didn't feel anything. I just continued to break into cars and drink and smoke dope.
Wow.
The officer says, unfortunately, I think you would have hurt more people. Was that in your plan? I
don't
mean,
know,
it wasn't in
Suzume.
my plan, but I could see that happening. Many netizens believe that he was ramping up to be a serial killer. So remember how I said in his little journal
Right,
he had the serial
that's
killer
what would have
reports.
happened.
Also, to call it reports or research is kind of goofy. He makes it sound like he's sitting there doing some sort of focus work because he was telling his friends, almost bragging about it, that he's researching serial killers. I'm not entirely sure what compelled me to go down this route, but after listening to hours and hours of his raw interrogation footage, the idea of him writing these snippets of these serial killers, it just didn't really make sense as to who I was hearing in the interrogation footage, as to who was writing in the journals. It was just copied and pasted from a crime magazine. Yeah.
Oh, he's copying a crime magazine's words onto his own journal.
Yes.
That's
Pretending
weird.
that this is his own thoughts.
Yes. So I don't think that he had
Weird.
a particular fascination in serial killers. I think that he had a fascination in wanting to be perceived as one or to be perceived as dark.
Right.
Oh, like all the okay. I
So
see.
it doesn't seem like he's sitting there studying Ted Bundy, his MO, how
Hi,
he
Val.
was
Welcome
caught,
back.
why he was caught, why he did those things. So it's very interesting because a lot of people, some people feel
Pretty
sympathy for the way
goddamn
that
sick
he
in the
keeps
head,
telling
Raven.
his friends he wants to understand what's going on in his mind. And then you would it would be safe to conclude that if he's researching serial killers, maybe he's trying to understand their minds to see how it connects to his mind.
Right.
But that's not the case. I think he just is a bad person. But he's saying these things not because he truly wants to understand himself,
definitely a piece
but
of
I
garbage.
personally think he just wants to be perceived a certain way. Because he's not really researching other minds that he feels are similar to his. He's not researching serial killers and their thought process. He's practically copy and pasting their Wikipedia pages down.
You have fun on Lethal
It's
Company?
hard to say that
I
he's
think it's
trying to
okay.
understand himself through that.
I think the game Lethal itself is fine. I don't love Lethal, but it's more of like background noise, like to have fun with friends. But I don't think it's like I don't like love Lethal. Story plays here to learn. Thank you so much, first time chatter. I appreciate you. But yeah, I don't Yeah, I don't know. I don't love Lethal. I think it's okay. Whenever people want to collab on Lethal, I'm like, all right. It's fun for like the group aspect, but I think the game is like fine. Helldivers is like somewhat like that. I actually like Helldivers a lot better, but Helldivers is so much about like the group you play Helldivers with. But it's still a really good game. Better to me, better than Lethal. I was playing with Starry. Oh, really? Oh, you guys know each other? Oh, cool. But yeah, I don't know. That's just me personally. I'm not saying Lethal's a bad game. It doesn't scratch the itch for me. That's all. I play Lethal Company with my friend and just run duo while hanging out, but we mostly just chat while playing. It's fun. Yeah, exactly. It's for me, it's like in the collab, I always have fun in the collab because it's fun. Like it's fun to be doing that stuff with friends. I just don't like love the game. That's all.
Gavin Ramsey is indicted and charged with 1 count of aggravated murder, 2 counts of murder, 3 counts of
Yeah,
felony
I played-
murder,
I
1
played,
count aggravated burglary, 1 count
played it with
kidnapping,
them
and 1
before,
count of abuse
also,
of a corpse.
with Val and Jay.
Gavin did see a counselor a few
On Jalen's
years prior
birthday
to the
stream.
murder, but I don't think that he told
No,
anybody
debut,
about
my
his
birthday.
necrophilic tendencies. The counselor does go on to
Val
prescribe
is
him
very, very
at one
sweet,
point
obviously.
100 milligrams of Zoloft per day. Zoloft is an antidepressant. 100 milligrams is a pretty high dosage. Now, I was inclined to assume that the counselor knew nothing, but according to his medical files, it's noted that January 2018, just 3 months before the murder, Gavin's pediatrician noted that Gavin was displaying psychological difficulties and having intrusive thoughts of violence. His mom states, if I could change one thing, I would never have agreed to put my son on Zoloft. So his whole defense during the trial is the Zoloft defense. That Zoloft made him more aggressive, more violent, which there are some studies that show that it does happen.
It's medicine. Yeah, it's an antidepressant. I don't want to like get too like personal or into like family life, but like my mom, growing up, my mom wasn't. The first few years of my life, my mom was like the best, and then like snapped, and then like was like just not a good person. That's all I'll say. And then she went to a doctor and got put on Zoloft. And to this day, she's on Zoloft, and she's like my best friend. My mom's like mother of the year. So like, listen, it helps some people. People have chemical imbalances, but not everything is for everybody. You know what I mean? I'm on a Vyvanse Zoloft wombo combo. I don't do Zoloft, but I take Vyvanse, yeah. But yeah, like Zoloft turned my mom into like literally mother of the year, like the best. You know what I mean? So I mean, who knows? You know, it's different. You know, brain chemicals are. You know, it's a moving target. You know, psychotropic meds can do nasty things if prescribed wrong, but if it's the correct diagnosis and treatment, then it can do amazing things. Exactly.
That's their whole defense. The mom even says, you cannot believe that my decision to let him take Zoloft was not part of the cause of this. She claims that from January to March that he was on Zoloft, she noticed him getting increasingly irritable, hostile, even saying, quote, bizarre things. And prior to that, he was just the sweetest boy, I guess. Which, like I said, there are studies done to show how Zoloft can impact people, especially teenagers, that it does increase aggression. There's symptoms of, agitation, restlessness, anger, irritability. And she tells the judge, before this, Gavin was loyal to a fault. He's compassionate.
I just fixed
and
my
this
posture.
thing-
Thank you.
This
I just fixed
thing
it.
that we're sitting here discussing is not who my son is. I don't care how much you want to pluck out evil fast, that's not my son. Side note, there's another odd moment with Gavin and his mom during the interrogation.
Wasn't he already a
where he
felon
hasn't
though? I mean, he was opening up car doors. It's not a felony. He was doing bad stuff, but he wasn't a felon. Opening up car doors to steal change is not a felony. So no, he wasn't a felon. Just a misdemeanor? Yeah. Yeah, he would have to steal over like 100 over. No, you're good. He would have to steal over like $1,000. The carjacking, but that really wasn't a carjacking either. We still never got like the full story on that, but I guess it's not very important at this point.
confessed to murder yet. I'm just giving you the dynamic of mother and son. He has not confessed to the murder of Margaret. He's only
No, I don't have a
confessed
stretcher,
to the
Jim,
carjacking.
but I got you.
He's rocking back and forth, ranting and pointing at his mom, and he's saying, I'm costing them thousands of dollars, because he's always getting in legal trouble. Constant heartbreak. I honestly probably never made either of them proud. I don't do anything fucking good ever. And his mom just whips to him, and instead of being like, no, son, you do make me proud, she just goes, stop cussing.
Stop cussing.
Okay.
She does not deny it, just tells him to stop. It's a weird interaction. And now she's up on the stand saying he's compassionate. He's loyal to a fault.
Yeah, but
In
like at
addition
that
to the
point, she's in
Zoloft
shock.
defense,
She just found out her son's a fucking monster. The baby she raised from, birth to now is, you're being told he's done all these things that he admitted to. Like, you can't blame her for that. Why was the mom allowed in the room anyway? Because he's underage. She has to be there. She has to be there. With good posture? I barely ever had good posture. Hearing this about meds makes me think a bit differently on it. I've only ever had opposite effects from what they explain. When I tried a few meds, they made me very drowsy and not able to function well, so I just don't take any. Yeah, like I said, everyone's got different chemical things or whatever like that. I'm not a doctor. What do I know? Hello, sir. How are you? How are you doing, Sir Death? I like Sir Death. I mean, Kimmy, hi, welcome in. How are you? I'm doing well, despite what we're watching right now. But I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
if you will. His attorneys bring up his past. There are records that Gavin was allegedly a victim of a sexual offense back in 2009. So that means he would have been 9 years old. We don't know exactly what happened, but we can kind of imagine and presume based off of what he told authorities that he had been with a man before, but it was, quote, involuntary. I couldn't find the case files anywhere, probably because he was 9 at the time. Some netizens think it is
That
a fair
explains a
argument
lot.
considering that trauma could have shaped his brain differently when he's 9 years old
That
and
happens
sent
all
him
the
down
time,
this
yeah.
path. But be that as it may, other netizens say, what does Margaret have to do with that? A lot of people have been victimized, but they don't go out and do what he did. They don't go out and commit necrophilia. Also, who
A lot of them. I mean, I don't know about necrophilia, but a lot of them do end up. A lot of times, what's done to you as a kid, you end up doing later on. That happens all the time. Another hydrate? I got you.
targets a 98-year-old woman that feels completely unrelated to his alleged trauma? Ultimately, Gavin's defense and mother have argued that it's his taking of Zoloft that led him to commit this crime. The only time Gavin seems emotional throughout the entire trial proceedings is when his mom is testifying and stating that all of this is because of Zoloft. He does not get emotional even when Margaret's family members give impact statements. Meanwhile, the prosecutor's main focus is not just the killing of Margaret, but what he did to Margaret's body afterwards. The police chief says this murder was the most horrific crime that he had ever seen in his 30 years of working as a cop. He says Gavin just has evil in him to do something like that. That's the only way I can explain it. Another officer says he degraded her body, videotaping and taking pictures. He's actually been in there with her for a while. He stayed for 2 hours.
Right. It wasn't like
The
he was
only
in
reason
shock
that he
and
went
ran
home
out.
is
Like, oh my
because
God,
his
what did
mom
I
wakes
do?
up at 5 a.m. and he had to pretend to be asleep. Who knows how much longer he would have stayed? Who knows what more he would have done? The prosecutors also argue that Zoloft cannot be the reason for his aggressive behavior. They
Rhyme
call
is
into
cute. Rhyme
evidence
is cute.
that
Thank
he
you.
starts his Zoloft prescription January 31st, 2018. A week before, January 19th, 2018, he's writing in his journal, quote, I just want to go off on someone and beat them until
That's
they're
true,
not breathing
Caddy.
anymore. I honestly just want to take someone's life. The prosecutor also points to the fact that even during the interrogation, the time that he gets the most emotional, when he is practically rocking back and forth, this is again before he confesses to killing Margaret. This is when he thinks he's going to court for carjacking. He says, I was 16 and I already had a fucking felony, like 5 misdemeanors, and now I'm going to be in more.
Okay, Velvet, he is a felon. Okay. My bad. True crime fucking queen over here. All right, Velvet, you right. My bad. What murder?
Trouble, and I have to go back to court, and I'm so done with it. I'm done with it.
You right,
Honestly,
Velvet.
I don't even want to live at home anymore. I don't know. I'm not normal. I just need to live somewhere else. Like, I don't know, some halfway house or something. I honestly would not care. At this point, I don't even care what's on my record. I mean, like, I do, but like not right now. I know I might have to deal with it for like another next 9 months, and this is what makes me so mad.
I don't know. I'm mad at myself. I'm so mad at myself.
He acts like he's a victim, that he has to go through the court process. He's crying because of consequences. Later, when he's talking about what he did to Margaret, the authorities ask him, are you sorry this happened?
Yeah, I'm really sorry that I did all of this.
Were you sorry about all of this before you got
I was
caught?
correct about that? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like
I'm a cop.
I
Hello.
constantly, like, I think
Obviously, I
about
know
it
that.
a lot, and I feel like bad about what I did. I know it's wrong, but I can't express the emotion.
If
You
she
don't
was
see
here
my
alive
hat?
in front of you, what would you say to her? I'm sorry. That never meant to happen. If I could take it back, I would.
Like, is he mimicking the?
Yes. None of these are actual descriptions of feelings. These are what people call dead phrases. So when you're like, I guess when you're writing or reading or even speaking, there's things, dead phrases. If I could take it back, I would. It doesn't really actually mean anything, and it's been overused to the point where it does not evoke a feeling.
Yeah.
You're not describing
an
a
officer of
feeling.
the
You're
law.
almost just saying things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Parody NCPD.
He's just saying what he thinks he needs to say.
Yeah, there's no emotion behind his words.
No.
So scary.
And he also talks about how his dad is going to
Wifey,
be so
hi.
excited.
Can you
He
shout
says,
for
I know
wifey,
it's going
please?"
to ruin our family name. That's what he says. It's going to ruin their family name.
See, so okay, it gives the feeling is he understands the consequences, what this means, how bad this is, what's going to happen. He heard enough of it. He knows it, but he has no attachment, nothing. There's no emotion behind any of these, right?
Caddy, you're not a mod.
That's
It's not
what's
going to work.
so
Why do you keep
terrifying
trying?
about-
The only emotion he has is when he is facing prison and court.
Yeah,
That's
and
it.
even that, like, it doesn't sound like he is. It's still different. Like he's still, it's like he's annoyed by it.
Yes. It's like agitating versus devastating.
Yeah.
Eventually, Gavin pleads no contest and is found guilty November 2018 of all the charges against him, including aggravated murder, aggravated burglary, kidnapping, gross abuse of a corpse. He also provides a statement to court to Margaret's family, which honestly is not a great statement. I think it
can you
provides
shout
no
out wifey,
closure.
please?
He can't even explain why he did what he did. He just says,
Thank you, Val.
I don't know how to explain why all this happened. I don't think there is an explanation to begin with. I think about it all the time. I'd take it back in a heartbeat if I could. I feel terrible for what I've done, and I will never do anything like that again.
Oh,
I'm sorry
thanks.
for what I did. I constantly live in regret and shame.
Oh, thank
because
you,
of
Lizzie.
it. Margaret's family gave their
I can't see it
victim
on my
impact
end. I
statements,
appreciate
and
you.
her great niece said, had he not been caught, I have no doubt that he would continue to escalate his crimes and continue killing. And I believe he planned to kill numerous people. He used my aunt as a warm-up, so to speak.
She's right.
Gavin was sentenced
She's
to
right.
life without the possibility
She's
of
absolutely
parole.
right.
10 years for
wouldn't
aggravated
have been the
burglary,
last
10 for
one.
kidnapping, and 1 year of abuse of a corpse to be served consecutively. Which, side note, a lot of netizens hope for the death penalty,
How you
but he
doing
was
tonight, wifey?
17, which means he cannot face capital punishment. He has appealed his sentence, which was denied, but it doesn't really matter because in Ohio, a new Senate bill passed. It's the new law, SB 256, and abolishes
chilling.
life imprisonment without parole for juvenile offenders,
We're chilling
even if
too.
they're charged as
Even though
adults.
this is fucking
They
heavy.
have automatic chance at parole at 25 years.
Oh, yeah?
Keyword is chance.
Who you playing
now, side note,
as?
in 25
Mrs.
years, Gavin will
Fantastic?
only
I
be
wonder
42
why.
years old. So even without Gavin's case, the bill is pretty controversial, with one expert stating, the person you are
Oh,
at 16
Mantis?
is not the person you are at
She's
15.
my Marvel
The
crush, to be
juvenile brain
fair.
is
I
not
think she's
fully
cute as
developed.
fuck.
They do things
I love
impulsively.
Mantis.
While a prosecutor argues back that while maybe that's true for
Yeah?
certain cases,
You ready to rank up
maybe
together,
like
wifey?
drug-related offenses, but in these types of cases like Gavin's, they say, quote, someone who has a propensity to become a serial killer and then gets out in 25 or 30 years, I don't agree with that at all. Now, Margaret's family member says, when he was sentenced, it was like, okay, we took a criminal off the road, we took him out of society, and now we're looking at, here we go again. Now he may be back in society at some time. Which I don't even think that they're opposed to rehabilitating teens. Margaret's family member just says, it puts all of these juvenile criminals into one box, whether they were being reckless and shooting a gun that accidentally killed someone, or if they're committing these devious plotting crimes like Gavin did.
He will murder somebody and
You got
torment
gold?
somebody and
Hey,
kill
good
somebody
job.
again.
One
I picked a
senator
diamond, but I
argues
thought I'd
the bill
apply
was looking at
3 or
many of
2.
those cases where people have changed and turned their lives around, became good model prisoners, and done everything right.
I see
They
you,
made a
though.
mistake when they were juveniles and were sentenced as adults. In no way does this new
Need a
law
good Dr.
guarantee release
Strange
for
on your team.
offenders, only an opportunity for parole if they can show that they are truly rehabilitated. And while I get that,
Yeah, me
how do you
either.
really know? Sure, the judge presiding over the case said that Gavin is irreparably
Damo.
corrupt
Hi,
and
Damo.
unfit to re-enter society.
What's
but
up,
it won't
voice
be
man?
the same judge that determines if he gets probation. And what you see
Oh, they got
on
the,
the, probation
the Moon
records
Knight
is
skin?
kind of a watered-down version
That's
of the
right.
actual facts of the case.
I'm doing
It's
Damo.
not
How
going
are
to
you,
be as
man?
in depth. You're not going to get the emotions of the
You
family.
guys don't know
members, the
Damo.
victim
Check out
impact
Damo.
statements. You're not going
You
to
got
have
that voice,
as much
dude.
of that
You
involved.
got that VTuber voice.
And of
You know which
course,
one I'm talking
people
about.
like Gavin are really good at faking remorse. This
You
is how
sound
he
like
writes
Felix
about
from
himself.
Stray Kids.
He has a profile on the website writeaprisoner.com. He's looking for pen pals. And it reads, Gavin Ramsey is 23 years
Life's
old
okay
and
right now, but
incarcerated in Ohio, USA. He states he is an
never
atheist, a
optimal.
Christian, but not seeking prayer partners, and he's straight. And his profile reads, hey there, I'll keep it short and sweet, and if I spark your curiosity, you're more than welcome to write to me. I'm looking for people who are interested in spirit, soul, and body growth and development. I enjoy conversations that delve far beneath the surface, and I love to laugh and see people smile as well. I believe everybody has something beautiful to contribute to the people and places around them, but it takes the right person to unearth so great a gem. Perhaps I'm that person for you. Perhaps you're that person for me. I enjoy writing music and poetry. I play sports and have a high
Yeah,
regard
see, I
for my
figured
health
Damo.
and fitness. I also crochet, which is more therapeutic
I
than I
got you pegged.
originally thought, but
So yeah, any girls in chat, if you guys want to hit up Gavin, You can hit him up in jail. I mean, I think Charles Manson had a wife in jail. So yeah, if anybody wants to hit him up, there you go. Got you.
Only in prison would I learn such.
Not gonna lie, him taking pictures and videos of the whole thing, in my opinion, cannot be considered a crime done in the heat of the moment. If he had the mental collection to record the heat of the moment, then he could have had the mental ability to stop himself. Apologizing during court doesn't seem like a good idea, in my opinion, either. If you want to plead insanity, you have to act like you're naturally insane. No, I think I completely agree, dude. You got to start biting people and like shitting yourself and stuff like that. It's your only chance. Yeah, Gavin. All right, dude. That's all you. You could have him.
a craft. LOL. I'm in college and I'm always searching for proactive
Jail,
ways
yeah.
to mature as an individual, both for myself and for those around me. I believe if you want to see a difference, you have to be the difference. This gives me he's amping up for parole in 25 years. He
Yep.
says, thus I invite you to come be a difference with me. I look forward
Us.
to hearing from you. Smiley face. He will be eligible for parole when he's 42 years old in 2043. Margaret's family says
42
it's
is not
terrifying.
old
They
enough.
say several family members chose to give victim impact statements at his sentencing.
42 is
Sentencing,
not
they have to give
enough.
victim impact statements. They don't know what his sentence is going to be. They know that he's been found guilty, but they don't know the sentence. He could be out and about. They said, we know that if we put our true thoughts in our statements, Gavin would be able to read and hear them. And we discuss the risk of giving him fuel for the rage he carries inside him, knowing that at some point he might be released from prison while my
I
siblings
love
and
that
I are
guy,
still
yeah,
alive.
98.
He's relatively young, and knowing he may come after us, but we all decided to move forward with our statement and trusted that the criminal justice system would
He needs
ensure
to
that justice as well as our
live his
safety
life
and
in
the community
prison, and then
safety-
if he dies and he gets reincarnated, that person is now in prison also. You're watching people make profit off of people's misery. Yeah. And then I'm going to make profit off watching people profit off of people's misery. Correct. True crime, baby.
would be prioritized when sentencing. The amount of relief when we found out that he had life without parole, immeasurable. That relief is now gone because of SB 256. We now spend every day worrying about Gavin's release. His release may happen not only when my siblings and I are still alive, but when my parents are alive. So this is the great niece. Cindy's daughter, Cindy and Howard's daughter.
Just to be clear, Freshly's a troll and also my mod and one of my best friends, IRL. Don't be mean to Freshly. Just saying.
Wow.
I still have nights when I need to check closets and under the bed out of paranoia. I still have nights where I wake up suddenly.
Freshly's the one that taught me about VTubing. I wouldn't even know what VTubers were if it wasn't for Freshly. So if you guys like me, then you like Freshly. Sorry. I think true crime is sleazy. Yeah, of course it is, dude. It's also interesting, though. It's interesting as fuck, though. You know? And it's, like, informative. It's good to know, like, these people could be fucking down the block from you at any time. Freshly doesn't have rhyme? Not yet. I showed you guys what's in the works. You guys know what's in the works. You guys know what's in the works. Everyone in chat probably thinking this guy has an L take until you clarified. Yeah, it's my boy, dude. I work with lawyers for CPS. I know. I like the storytelling. Yeah, it's just interesting. But yeah, so we're gonna profit off the profiting of. Yeah. Yes, we are. Correct.
And I have to put my gun next to me on the bed in order to feel safe. If he wasn't concerned about getting home prior to his parents waking, how much longer would he have stayed with Margaret? What else would he have done?
I mean, I think I can feel that, like, because his crime is so senseless, so unreasonable. Like, this is truly a mind of a serial killer. So you
Yes.
feel so terrified because there's no closure. You can't predict.
You just
how
turned,
this
dude?
person's
Okay,
gonna
we'll start it
act.
over so you can watch it.
Because I think we
We're only
as
an hour
humans
and 20
all
minutes
run on
in.
a
We'll just
system
restart it
of
for you.
calculating other people's risk tolerance. It's I don't believe this person will kill me because then they will forfeit this. They have this
I'm just
risk
kidding. We're
of what
good.
happens to them. But it truly seems he does not care for that. He actually likes the thrill of taking risks. So it's very
You want more locals?
unpredictable, I'm sure is the feeling. And
The
so
problem with
scary.
locals is I only like Chris. I've
They
tried
say
to get
our
into
sense
the
of
other ones,
safety
but
has
I only
forever
like Chris.
But they're going to fight.
The other ones
every
don't interest
parole
me.
hearing,
I just
every
love Chris
chance
Chan.
that he's going to be free or every chance he could be free, they're going to be there. Many netizens have also said it's scary because in court, he's very polite to the judge. He presents as a very well put together young man. And the top comments read, was
He's
he
not
this polite when he was
unintelligent.
murdering a defenseless elderly lady?
Right, exactly. He's
The
not
only
an
time that he's
unintelligent
emotional
kid.
during the trial is when his mom is talking and when they tell him that he's going to county jail rather than juvenile detention, and he looks
Good.
physically ill. A lot of netizens are focused on the victim's age. They write, imagine being 98. You escape death by accident.
Who's she talking about? If you read the title, a 16-year-old murders 98-year-old woman to SA her corpse for 2 hours while recording. So I have no problem blowing this kid up. Misery is the worst pyramid scheme I've ever been a part of. When can I start profiting? Oh yeah, you can just do a reaction video of my reaction video to her reacting to the story. That's how you be part of the MLM. I didn't hear his take just now. I was just thinking with stream muted for a second about the whole they're just kids, so let's factor in stage of development and determining punishment thing. Yeah, but 17, it's like what? In 3 months you can go to jail, but right now you can't. You're old enough to know. At 17, you're old enough to know what the fuck you're doing. Yeah, he even said an eye for an eye. Exactly, dude.
Accidents, illness, lived through world wars, the Great Depression, and more, so close to dying in your bed peacefully, only
A
for a
reaction
low
video
life
to a
to do this
reaction
to
video
you.
to a reaction. Yeah.
Some netizens feel very conflicted on whether or not he has the ability
the
to
chain going.
rehabilitate, stating, mixed emotions on this one. What he did was absolutely disgusting and evil, but this is a child whose brain is not completely developed and trained. I really
Nah,
don't know what way to
fuck
go in
off.
this case.
Fuck off with that.
Others think, oh, he's way too far gone now. They write, it's a good thing they caught him while he's young because this type of action just escalates as they
I
get
agree.
older. Some
Yes,
people cannot
it
be
would have
fixed.
gotten worse. He would have kept doing
Another
it.
writes,
Yep.
I don't know how people can question it. Some people are just born this way. They should be eradicated from society. You cannot fix them. Or Senate Bill 256 is going to protect this kid to an extent, but hopefully a parole board will see the serial killer in him.
There's
and
the
deny
whole
him
like
parole for
nature
life.
versus
If they let him
nurture
out, he will
argument.
absolutely do it again. Serial killers do not stop unless they're dead or
But
caught.
it doesn't seem like this kid's upbringing was bad. I think some people are just bad apples, dude. Some people are just born bad. There's just some bad babies out there. Like sometimes you got a bad baby, dude. Like some babies are just bad. Are you criminally responsible for your actions starting at 14? I don't know the ages and stuff like that. I think it's under like 16. It depends on the state also. I remember telling my little sister that I don't care how old you are, I will beat you up if you stab your sister. This was directly after my little sister chased my older sister around with a knife trying to get her with it. I was very upset and blunt with her. Like I said, yeah, my little sister pulled a knife on me when we were kids. But I was also fucking being a fucking asshole. And now she's like super well adjusted. There's a documentary about nature versus nurture I saw recently. Interesting. I know like Jeffrey Dahmer's brain, they got his brain so they could like test it. Like test like I don't know. The differences of a serial killer versus like a normal person. And see
Another
if it's
comment
something
reads,
like
this is
just within
Jeffrey
the brain or
Dahmer in the
not.
making.
Yeah.
Thank God he was stopped at his first
That's
victim, rest her soul.
Dude, I just said it.
There would have been many more to come.
Very Dahmer-esque.
Other netizens are shocked at the crime itself, saying, the father screaming, it's my son that did this? It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, they sliced it up.
Others
exactly.
comment, his parents seem like all right people, but I just get the feeling that something is off with his mom. She's saying the right words, but I just felt something off about her. I don't know, I can't explain it. Which many netizens who watched her statement in court agree. They say, did she just call her son compassionate? Not sure what this woman knows what compassionate even means.
I don't know.
Other
Her son's
moms
on
agree. If
her
that
son's
was my
on
son,
trial.
I would not be calling him compassionate. I would be taking him to prison myself. Or another one reads,
That's tough. I
that
don't
boy
know.
is like that because of his mom. You know, even when slapped in the face with how much of a monster her demon spawn is, she chooses to ignore and coddle him. She raised that. She should be ashamed. His mommy
Yeah,
says he's
exactly. It's
compassionate.
cold. Yeah.
Yeah, well, so is the justice system who gave him life
Oh, yeah. It's about a set of identical triplets, brothers adopted as infants. Yeah, I've heard about that. Yes. That was like an experiment like a long time ago, right? We used to have better experiments, dude. We don't have cool experiments anymore. But yeah, I did. Am I wrong? Was one gone to like, did one go to like a 3 identical strangers? Yeah, I have heard about that. Did one go to like a rich family, one go to a poor family? Or am I wrong? Maybe I'm thinking of something else. That might be wrong. But yeah, we used to have cool experiments. We don't have cool experiments anymore. I like cool experiments.
sentence with parole now. Another comment just points out,
You
if
also
a
thought things out
detective
with his
ever
mom? I
asks
don't
you,
know.
What do you think should happen to
I
the
think
person
she's just
that
in
did
shock.
this?
How are you supposed to?
Just
How are you
know
supposed
that
to
you
handle
are their
that?
suspect. LOL. And that is where we are with this case. What are your thoughts?
I don't know how you're supposed to handle
Do you
that.
think that he can be rehabilitated? Can
They
someone
did with a bunch of different
this far
twins, yeah.
gone be rehabilitated or no? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Be safe. Bye.
Whew, boy, dude, that was heavy as hell, dude. That's a heavy one, man. We started off our true crime, our new series, our true crime series with a banger, dude. What a little monster, dude. Yeah, I personally, I think he would have continued. Like, it would have got worse. You know what I mean? He would have been a serial killer. It's almost lucky that he got caught. He also got caught in the craziest way. He didn't get caught the way, like, he got caught because, like, they looked at his phone to try to, like, to prove his testimony about, like, the carjacking. And they happened to find all that stuff on the phone. Anyway, I've been watching Dexter. I love Dexter. You've been watching the new one? I heard the new one is good. I'm interested in how that one plays out. Dude. We'll find out when he's 41 or 42, whatever they said. Bro can't be rehabilitated, just tamed to a degree. Yeah, I think so too. That kid's a monster, dude. Obviously. It's just crazy to me how he got caught. He got caught on the most, like, nonsense, you know what I mean? That's so crazy. You guys want to watch another one? You guys want to watch another one? Maybe a shorter one? I mean, I get it if they watch humans long enough to find there's a difference between fully matured and juvenile brains to use it as reference for possible variations in judgment towards the same crime, but I thought she was going to say juveniles are still guilty of the crime regardless of the age, so it shouldn't be different. Gonna watch up to season 7 because there isn't a season 8? Oh, I get it, because season 8 was bad. I get it. Hiya, the police outfit is what? Is what? Essentially, yeah, we have a horny berry cherry in chat. Yeah, I'm gonna need the patrol supervisor out to my location. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop and frisk this chatter. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable. Yeah, we can send back up. At least 2 additional units. Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, deck essential. The walkie makes me blushy-wushy. Harry Frisk? Stop and frisk, baby. Hey, New York City. Nah, let me stop. Okay. It makes you go, what? You guys like it? You guys like the dude, I've been in a cop outfit for 2 hours and not one ACAB in chat. I can't believe it. Can we mims this guy? Mims? What's mims? Not one ACAB. I'm very proud of my chat. Chat reflects the streamer after all, right? All right. We'll watch another one. I'm going to stop the YouTube video now.